It's Friday, May 15th, 2026. All right, let's start off by reminding you that if you'd like to support the show, you can go to supportourshow.com. And a little bit of a programming note, because I decided to burn everything on Patreon that I had even the slightest misgivings about in terms of age verification. The bonus episode for this month's late night that was going to only be there is now going to be on the show feed as well as YouTube. So you'll still hear it. I didn't change it in any other way, although I think I may have done an opening where I talked about it being on Patreon because it was too long for the regular thing. Well, obviously, I'm not going to re-edit it, everybody. I'm not going to bother doing that. But it's now available because it was already done, and there was nothing. I wasn't price or pay gating it or anything, so it's not like suddenly we're losing a revenue stream. Whatever. It was just going to be on there as a thing for Patreon, but now it's everywhere because fuck Patreon. I mean, Patreon's still there. We'll still put the 5s on there. I'm just going to strip everything else off. So, although I should say, hold on, now that I think about it, there is an exception because the late night for June, which is with Stacey Higginbotham from Consumer Reports, that one's actually clean. So that one will be on Patreon, even though, ironically, there's no video for that one. So you're not getting anything out of seeing it there that you wouldn't from the main feed. So, hilariously, the one episode that there's no video for, that Patreon would have been good for, because that's where the storage is better there, there's no video. It's just audio. So it won't matter. You'll hear it the same everywhere that you hear it there. So, but it is clean, so I can leave that one on Patreon. The thing that I don't know what's going to happen with specifically are going to be the double features now, because they're clearly not going to be able to go on Patreon, because, well, we swear in them. I mean, again, this is where I don't know. I have no idea what the age verification is now. So I'm not going to take a chance. But I know YouTube's going to block the hell out of it because we use film clips and some music from John Carpenter and Buckaroo Banzai. We use the music from the credits and stuff. So they'll probably block it for that. They'll certainly block the credits. So I will attempt that. But it may be that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to release those anymore. So those might just stop entirely. Because I don't know what to do with them. There's no safe harbor for this stuff now. So, like Doug and I have another one planned. I might just be like, hey, man, we can't do it. Unless we're not literally just going to... I mean, I guess we could just talk about them and not curse or something. I don't know. Because I don't know where to put this stuff. Again, that I'm not paying for anything. Because even if I did, there's no guarantee that a week from now, even something you pay for is going to be like... I don't know. So, now, one thing I will say is if anybody is interested in the commentaries we've already done, because don't forget, Lando and I had done commentaries through 2029, 2 a month. So I don't know what the number is, but it's a high number of movies we've already done. If anybody genuinely cares, and you email me, I will send you a list of every movie we did a commentary for. And if you want any of them, I will send you the audio file that you could play along with the movie if you are so inclined. Because I kept all the files. I didn't purge the files. I kept them. On the off chance that people come back to their senses and actually robustly respond to all this by saying, no, we're not going to use a service if you're going to take all this information from us. You know what? We don't need you. And make this thing the tide of this turn back, which absolutely could be done. People adopt this fatalist attitude, but if they actually responded by not using these things, then either they go away and the ones that replace them don't make the same mistakes, or they reverse their bad decisions. That's how the world works. So if that happens, I'm happy to re-upload all this stuff. So I'm not going to get rid of it. I will keep it for myself. I have every video that we did up to when we stopped, except for the last one. I did just wipe out the last one because I really was pissed that day. So I just completely nuked that one. And honestly, the movie wasn't good enough that I care about saving it anyway. That was the second, not the Vampiros one, the other one. And I'm
that wasn't... Yeah.
That one, that's okay to lose. So I'm fine with losing that. All the other ones, up to that point, I've got. So if you think you're interested in that, I will be happy to send you the audio file. And you can, it's not going to be too hard to line it up. We start talking when the movie starts. So you'd figure out if you're a minute or two off and you can adjust. But I'll send it to anybody as an audio file. I have no problem doing that. But
you don't still have the scaled down video files?
Well, I have to. Where am I going to put them?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And they're probably pretty big to send.
Yeah, I mean, they're at least each one. I don't think any of them, except for the really, really crappy ones, and even those I blew up. I made them HD scale, so they're all going to be at least 2 gigabytes, which I could send, but I'm not going to be sending video files. I mean, if it's only a couple people, sure, I'll send them. But like I said, that's even if anybody has interest. So I don't know. Anyway, that's the update on all that. So I have no idea what the late nights are going to look like. Some of the stuff is, I'm just going to stop doing it because what's the point? Can't put it anywhere. So I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for you. Programming notes wise. Really, this whole thing has really just dented my enthusiasm for a lot of this. It's really just kind of sucked the whole air out of it. I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? Because eventually it's all going to get clamped down. And only people who review, the latest Lego set that they got sent by Lego to promote the fact that they're tied in with the newest Star Wars film, and how amazing that they've captured the spirit of the film and its energetic additions to this varied and storied universe where they're creating human stories in a science fiction paradigm. And look how this set has captured it. They've even got minifigures that are exclusive to this set, but only if you pre-order now, and that's only going to be exclusive for the next 3 days if you use my code for 10% off. Now let's talk about how great this set is. That's all that's going to be left. That's it.
I built a Lego set that was really cool. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, even what I just did there.
Yeah,
no, it's not connected to anything. And 80 other YouTube dipshits are going to be doing the same thing.
I know.
And there's going to be a lot of them that are way prettier than me. So go watch them, because I ain't doing it.
But you know what?
I'm not interested.
I built a cool airship. It's actually a funny thing. I built this. I saw a design that somebody did online. That was a neat idea of, because I love flying ships. Part of the reason that Monster Hunter movie got me is because they had that ship on the sand. I love ships doing things they're not supposed to do, and I wanted to build an airship, but not like a classic you see this a lot too. The Zeppelin airship. I wanted like a more modern looking ship with gravity drives on the side and shit like that. And what's funny is that I built this thing, and I built it all from scratch. I didn't use I had vague ideas, but it was all kind of in my imagination, and I was just building it with all these raw random pieces that I had. And I built this thing, which honestly I think is pretty cool. And it was so funny. I showed my wife, and my wife looked at it, and she's like, "It's a trawler." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you made a fishing trawler." I'm like, "No, it's I made a fucking flying ship." And I was like, "Okay." It's this is the disconnect between my wife's imagination and mine. I was like, "Can't you see the gravity engines on the side?" She's like, "Is that what they are?" I'm like, "Fuck you. Let's get out of here." So anyway, yeah. No, you're right. We're not that pretty. I agree with you. And nobody sends us shit, so...
I also just don't have the interest. That's the other thing. It would be fake. I mean, look, I could fake it. I could easily do a
I don't know if I
bullshit
can.
thing. I can. Oh, I just did it. I just did it. I can do that.
But day in and day out. You know what? Listen. I think it also depends on also like what you do as a. There's things you do because they're projects you care about, and there's things you do because you want to get paid. I mean, if someone told you could do a video thing like that, and you could get paid, and you could do that as a job, and then do something else you actually wanted to do, I mean, it's better than working retail.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would. I'm not saying that if somebody were to offer me, a good amount of money to do that, would I do it? Sure. And I would tell you it's sponsored. I would.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't. It would eat my soul up after a while, and it wouldn't be any fun. It would pay the bills, but then it's just a job.
Well, that's the fear, yeah, that it does eat your soul.
It's a reality. If I don't have any interest in what I'm doing,
yeah.
I mean, some people can do that. They can do it, although I suspect they really can't do it, and they just have convinced themselves they can. And I think those people are probably secretly pretty sad if that's the only reason they're doing it. Now, look, if you are somebody, and I don't even know if I mean this to sound as critical as it may come off, because I'm really, I'm not. But if you are somebody who doesn't care at all, except you want free Lego sets because you love Lego so much and you have no ethical compunctions about just selling them, then that is the dream job. If you can, and there are people who do that type of stuff and seem to have fun, but that's because they don't care whether the audience relies on them for anything sincere. And that's fine. If that's your alignment morally, go for it. You will do well in life. The lack of morality is going to serve you well financially because that's at the heart of all of it. So you're going to go far. Just look at the billionaire class we have lording over us. No morals. None. Except in terms of seeking more riches. And they do very well doing that because there's never enough and they're always looking for it.
When you have no morals, yes, things become a lot easier.
It's great. Sky's the limit, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yes. Yeah. But then, I mean, what kind of life is that,
Hey, for them, it's a great life. That's what I'm saying.
No, but see, actually,
if you are that person,
that's the thing. It is and it isn't. Because if you're one of those people, there's never enough. Have you ever heard that phrase, too much and never enough?
Well, but I think for those individuals, I think that's their ambitious drive. That is the thing.
Yeah.
Because if they got enough, what's left? There's nothing else. But if you always feel like there's more to be gained,
well, there is
that white whale out on the ocean, you keep driving the ship.
Yeah.
Catch the whale, it's all over. So there's always going to be the one more thing they need.
And that's why the important thing in life, I think, is to learn to don't be a person of pursuit. Like, don't get me wrong, go after things that you want, but don't make that your singular focus.
I also think that's why people like Musk and everybody want to go to Mars and all these places they know they're never going to get to because that's their aspiration.
Yeah, whereas you're sitting there going, hey,
I know I can't get to.
How about you fix this planet first?
No, it's boring.
No, it's boring. It's too many people.
Yeah, that's right. As an aside, fuck steelbooks, I should say. These steelbooks that shit comes in now, I hate them. Yeah, the Blu-rays and stuff come in, these collectible steelbook things.
Oh, I haven't.
I don't understand these things.
I haven't bought a DVD in so long.
Well, I got Tron on 4K, Tron Legacy. Came out on 4K. Okay. A movie that will benefit from that. It hasn't been available. The only way I could get it was in this stupid steelbook. Luckily, I still have my old 2-pack of the previous Blu-ray, and I just swapped the discs out, and I'm going to put the steelbook into the local library. Somebody will take the discs,
listen, sometimes they do this shit because they think it'll make people feel special.
I guess, but they're so flimsy. They're not good.
It really comes down. Yeah, well, they don't care. I mean, that's the other part too. Is they also want
to be there's the morality bankruptcy
for
again.
themselves.
Yeah. See.
Listen. We don't need to pussyfoot around this. You know what it is? It's that corporations want to make money and they don't want to spend money, and that's how you make more money. So if they can make a shit product and get you to pay more for it, they always will because that's how you make more money.
It sort of astonishes me how bad the artwork is on most of these too. They're almost always worse than the non-steelbook version. The Tron one's awful. It doesn't even have the title on it. It doesn't even have it.
They're not gonna.
How? How? You didn't put the title except on the spine.
I can't even tell you at this point.
Yeah. Although, on the plus side, I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, they found a pristine 35 millimeter print of Near Dark, and now they're making a 4K out of it. They're going to really release it. They're going to remaster it, and it will be available. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that because I didn't realize that the reason it was unavailable for the most part is because they didn't have a good, clean copy of it to make one from.
They just
and I guess they uncovered one. They found one. So there's always hope that they will find these things.
I mean,
and there will be
I guess this stuff doesn't affect me that much because so many movies I watch, I watch on a smaller screen.
Yes, I have my system engineered to.
I know you do. I know you do. So it's good
for the movies that deserve it. Not every movie. I don't care about every movie.
Yeah, but some movies are just shit.
The fact that yeah, I mean, I'm never going to buy Ghostbusters on 4K. Why? That's not the point. I don't care about the visuals. That's about the least thing I care about in that movie.
That is true.
It's the characters, not the visuals. Who cares? Do I need? Hold on, let me see.
Do you need what?
Hold on.
You should find a movie. You try to find a movie.
Okay, there we go. Like high fidelity. I don't need high fidelity on 4K.
No, you don't.
For what?
You don't.
I mean, actually, I should say that. My wife would probably appreciate that because she has quite a thing for John Cusack. So maybe I will get that one, so that his youthful beauty is in maximum pixels. Because
honestly,
why not?
For me, I think that peak John Cusack is Grosse Point Blank. For me,
I have to ask my wife what I don't know. Hold on.
It's different because some people like the '80s John Cusack, but I think for me, it's the.
Let me textual transmission her.
What is your peak John Cusack?
Let's see. To know what movie John Cusack is prettiest.
Well, no, just say what represents peak John Cusack for you.
Oh, okay.
Because pretty is, I mean, but you want.
You're right. Is peak John Cusack for you? All right, I will see what her response is. I do not think it will take long.
Well, it's like what's peak Mila? I think you said it was Fifth Element, wasn't it?
I mean, it's. You know what? This is the weird part. I now think it's a tie between that and Ultraviolet because she looks awfully good and she's doing a lot of stuff in Ultraviolet, whereas
it's more
in the
her.
Fifth Element,
she's more the
lead the Fifth Element. She's not doing much for much of that movie. She's just kind of
she's
befuddled and lost and falling through things. Yeah, and that's not really my favorite version.
But she's so pretty.
Oh.
Did she come to inform you?
Hold on, my wife has entered the room to tell me. So let me see. Hold on.
So which one is it?
Hold on.
This is our John Cusack interview.
I have these sound dampeners to try to cut down on the AC, and they fell over. Hold on.
And I broke the room.
You didn't break them. All right, go ahead. Talk. Oh, you can't hear him. She said, "What do you mean?"
But for you, peak John Cusack, like the what represents the pinnacle of John Cusack?
Wait, shut up. Say it again.
What do you mean by peak? Do you mean like my
here, talk right here?
Peak?
Talk
like
here. Talk here.
My favorite, or like the time where he was at his top, or what do you mean by that?
Take all of those things and put them in a ball. Which
Take
movie
all those
represents
things
that?
And put them into a blender, and what represents it? This is Lando. What do you want from me?
Okay. Jesus.
You can text me back in a few minutes. You have to answer
No, if you need time, listen, it's a tough question.
I mean, my brain goes to Better Off Dead.
I figured it was 80s John Cusack for you.
Because that's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But it also leaks into One Crazy Summer and, his little roles in like 16 Candles, and he's my
80s version.
Yeah,
he's
80s
my
version.
Mila. What do you want from me?
No, hey, listen. Grosse Point Blank is my peak.
Yeah, that was kind of. I was more like, 80s.
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah,
she likes the earlier version.
I identify with a Grosse Point Blank.
Sorry,
so
I broke your room.
Oh, you didn't break anything.
You broke the room, Sam.
No, she didn't break anything. That's why I just lean them, just in case she has to come in and say, "Oh, the house is on fire." I don't want her to be, stopped by that. Yeah. So there you go. So it's,
80s, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny. There's a lot of actors like that where you're like, what is the peak? Like, if you're going to show an alien species, like Sean Connery. Sean Connery is a weird one, right? Because if you want to demonstrate an alien species, like, Sean Connery, he's amazing. But you're like, yeah, but there's two Sean Connerys in there. There's the Bond Sean Connery era, and then there's the older, fucking awesome Sean Connery era, and they're different people.
Yeah, I would definitely go older with him.
And you know
as
what?
far as the stuff I like, but I also am not. I'm not a fan of the early Bond. So.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'll take old Connery over young Connery.
Yeah, I agree because I don't like Connery's Bond.
And I think it might be. I mean, what's terrible is, I think it might be Hunt for Red October.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I really don't. It's not a good movie, but I love Sean Connery as Quartermain. Like.
Oh, and
it's not a good movie, but I like him as that character.
I agree. No, I mean, look, they blew the perfect actor for it.
Yeah.
The movie complete. I mean, he is in a different movie.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And he is.
So it's a.
So no, I completely agree with you that movie largely is there for him and Nemo.
Oh yeah.
They're the best things in it. Otherwise, it's pretty junky.
It is, but he is so good, and that's the thing is, I mean, like
Sure.
Sean Connery is the type of actor who could show up in a junky movie, and you'd still be like, okay, he's really good. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't slow him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's I think also sometimes we get before the show we were talking about like how we are annoyed that actors are getting older, musicians, artists that we like are getting older, and they're
dying. Dying.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were talking about Primus, and I was like, what are those guys, 70 now, right?
Yeah.
And you start to think about what is this, if they're older now, what is the ideal version of an artist or an actor, or like what is the one that had the most effect on you? For a lot of people, it ends up being actors or musicians or in kind of younger situations. Because recently, I saw that Tori Amos is touring again, right? I love Tori Amos. Like, I listened to Tori Amos was, I think, the second album I ever bought. And when I heard she was, like, touring, I was like, oh! And I went and I saw a live performance that she did someplace, like a recording of it. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, Tori got so old. Like, and her voice, she's starting to go, like, the Kathleen Turner route, where she's getting very husky with her voice. And I'm like, yeah, this is not my Tori Amos. And like, I know exactly what peak Tori Amos for me is. And it's like, it's Tori Amos when I was a kid. It's Tori Amos when she did Little Earthquakes, No,
my wife's the same way. She loves Tori Amos of her youth and does not have any interest in it anymore.
So it's comical and interesting when you end up connecting with something later. Because like, I watched all the same 80s movies as your wife, but for some reason, John Cusack, as a paid killer, I identify with that far more than I do with his 80s movies.
The interesting part about music is that most of my favorite bands, I hate to say this, a lot of those singers are dead. Chris Cornell's dead.
Yeah.
Scott Weiland is dead. Kurt Cobain's dead. They're all dead.
Yeah.
So there is no older version for me to become disillusioned with.
Yeah.
They're permanently frozen in amber.
I'll give this for Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell, I mean, he did, before he passed away, he did Audio Slave, which was still good.
Oh, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is there's no old version of them wow, his voice has changed so much.
I know, but he still got into like his 40s. I mean, he didn't just die in his 20s. Like Kurt Cobain died before he ever went beyond Nirvana.
Right? I'm not saying they were all the same age, but there is no Tori Amos moment for them. There will never be a Tori Amos moment for them. No. There isn't that thing where I watch Robert Plant now, and Robert Plant, look, for his age, he's got all the energy, but you realize his voice is much different. But
the thing is, he knows his voice is much different too, and he doesn't try to do what he's doing.
I know.
I like that.
I agree. I don't dislike it. I saw a recent thing where he was on Colbert, maybe somebody.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of kind of folky music now, which is interesting.
Well, he did. Maybe it was a Gallows Pole. No, maybe it was Battle of Evermore. Whatever one. It was gorgeous. It was a transcendent version of the song, but it was not the
It's different.
song. As yes.
Yeah.
So those things happen, and there are exceptions where those people retain their ability because they shift.
But this is like
But
Johnny Cash
others
doing
who
Hurt.
don't.
You know, he took it from Nine
Yes.
Inch Nails and he turned it into like this meditation on.
Yeah, well,
Fucking
also
death, dying,
Johnny
and
Cash
loss.
sounded 75 when he was 25. It helps. It helps when you sound like you've already got the mileage on you from the
Oh,
beginning,
my
because
God,
then
he
it doesn't.
does, yeah.
Tom Waits is not going to sound older.
You know what? Hold on.
You know?
Hold on. Tom Waits does sound older. I know that he still sounds like he's like gargling stone, but
That's
I mean,
what I'm saying.
He does
You still
he does
know
sound
it's Tom
older.
Waits, but you still know who he is, and the music
yeah.
really isn't different. It's just there's a patina to it, as opposed to
Patina. I like
Robert
that.
Plant cannot do Immigrant Song anymore. He can't. Cannot.
No. And listen,
That's
you know
fine.
what? When I was a
It's
kid,
not me saying that's bad. It's just reality.
when I was a kid, I could sing all the high bits like like Robert Plant. I loved Led Zeppelin, and now as I get older, I hear Battles of Evermore, and I'm like, I can't do it. Son of a bitch.
And that's what I mean about a lot of the people who I really liked are not going to reach the point where I see that they've shifted. They're gone.
Yeah.
And so their voices will never age.
You know who's a really great exception to all this, I will say? I'm kind of surprised he's still as good as he is. So David Gilmour, when he left Pink Floyd, right, he kind of did his own career. But the thing is, like, I still like David Gilmour. Like, when he does solo out, like, I was never, like, I wasn't a massive David Gilmour fan outside of Pink Floyd. But every time he's put out an album, right, as he's gotten older, I've always liked a few songs off of the album. And, like, his last one that came out, I liked a few songs off that, too. And, like, I don't know what they're doing to his voice. His voice is still very smooth, but it does have a timbre now to it. And the guy can still play that fucking guitar.
I mean, Willie Nelson's another one. Willie Nelson.
Oh my God, what is he, 90?
I mean, he is 93.
Good for him.
And that guy,
Good for him.
if he is not the poster boy for weed will make you last forever, I don't know who is. Because, I mean, seriously, that guy has been on the I will be enveloped in more smoke than the monster from the Keep when he's reforming for his entire life.
Well, good for
And
him.
is way past people who were all into health and everything. Nope, they're all gone. He's still there. He's still doing the same shit that he's doing.
You know what? He's just so fucking mellow.
I really think he's just, from the interviews I've seen with him, and it's one of those people who figured out who he was early on and never had a doubt about it, and I think that helps. I think that type of self-assurance and comfort with self helps.
It also helps that, like, he was embraced by the pothead community, and
Oh sure,
also-
I mean,
he's
that
also-
don't hurt.
Yeah.
And he's written some unbelievable songs. That helps too.
There you
And everybody seems to like him except
But
for the people
it
who
is
like
a
to criticize him.
fascinating meditation on aging and how you do it and how you evolve. And like what I like about Robert Plant is that Robert Plant isn't trying to sing all those high songs. You said yourself, he did a version of one of his songs acknowledging that he is in a different place musically.
No,
right?
I actually think that's the best way to handle it, is just to understand where the limitations are and that you still have an artistic quality and to apply it where it makes sense. Plus, he just has this woman touring with him who does those vocal parts. It works fine. They harmonize. It's fine.
I think it's great.
It is.
So
no, I'm not. That's not a criticism.
I think
but that's what I mean about there's these people who you just you understand that they have changed.
It's funny. Who was it? I saw someone recently. I think it was one of the Spice Girls. Did an album recently, and she had this video that was called Sweat, I think, something like that. And I saw the video, and I thought to myself, "Darling, I appreciate what you're trying to do here." I was like, "But you're not a 20-something-year-old sex kitten anymore." And don't be wrong, I still think she looks good, and I wonder if she's appealing to that market. But like, I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know. I don't know whether to applaud people anymore or just be like, settle down. You know what I mean? Like, that feeling, I don't even know anymore. I guess do what you feel like you can do. You know what, Madonna.
That's kind of it.
You know, a lot of people give Madonna
shit. If it's coming
shit
out of a place of she really looks in the mirror and says, I can do this. Okay, listen, I can't criticize that.
She's in incredible shape. But like Madonna is a great example. Madonna looks like a scary witch to me, right? But the fact that that woman still has the ego to like get out there and fucking do it like that on the stage, I have to respect her. Yeah, I have to respect her. I may not want to go to that show, but that doesn't mean that somebody does. I mean, so I guess it's so unique. It's so unique to the individual and what people think they're capable of. And
that's definitely true.
Without
a doubt.
And I guess it's the whole. I guess I'm just not going to give people shit. I'm just going to let you all do what the fuck you're going to do, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm trying to be very clear. This my talking about these people being different is not a criticism. I'm not saying that Robert Plant shouldn't sing Led Zeppelin songs just because he can't hit the notes.
But he physically cannot do the high parts anymore.
Yes,
that's a given.
That's the thing is that you cannot possibly not see the fact that he has a different voice now. That's just the reality of it. And the benefit for me in a lot of the cases, like your Tori Amos case, is that a lot of the bands that I really enjoy listening to...
I'll never have to see them grow old.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I saw Phil Collins. And Phil Collins now, like he can't play he's physically unable to play the drums anymore, that type of stuff, because of age and some physical stuff going on. And that's really sad, because I think he wants to and he just can't.
Well, the mind is willing, but the body is checked out.
That's it. And so I don't want these people to be gone before that happens. But you sit there and think, if in fact they were somewhere else looking down and seeing some of their peers breaking down, would they be happier they're gone? I don't know. I think some would and some wouldn't. Some people were so tied into their public fame that I think they'd rather it's burn out than fade away thing. There are some I think would be that way. And others, of course, would rather be alive. And I'm not advocating one way or another, but it is an interesting thing to realize that many of these people are never going to get a chance to get older. For me.
Well, I mean, the lifestyles. Some of the lifestyles are just,
Well, hey, man, there again. What's his face? Keith Richards is the poster child for drugs will not kill you.
Rolling Stones just announced a new album.
Yeah. Well, no, you look at that guy, and you're sitting there going, okay, he's clearly figured whatever combination of drugs he took has become the perfect preservant for man.
No, you know what? I don't think. I think it's money. If you're very moneyed, it helps. It helps.
Well, okay, yes, of course that helps. But what I'm saying is that guy's ingestion of chemical variety
should have killed him. Yeah,
you would think would have him because that's kind of like because you know what the reverse of him is Ozzy Osbourne, whose drug use clearly was not the correct kind because he degenerated, where he could barely speak. So I don't know what they did differently, but I know which one did it successfully.
I tell you, my mother and I just had a conversation about this. So my mother just turned, was it 84 or 85? And I took her indoor skydiving to celebrate this, and she went skydiving like 30 years ago, and she was very unsure whether she was going to do it. Me and my son and my wife were doing it, and we were like, come on, it'll be fun. But I was also like, shit, don't do it unless you're ready to do this. And my mother she used to run. I mean, she still is very, very active. She has not retired. She's not going to retire. And she's humongously with it. You know what I mean? Most people think that she's like probably 10, 15 years younger than she is. And she did it. She went skydiving. I told the guy to be careful with her. I was like, don't go as fast as you normally do with everybody else. But she got into this air tube in her little jumpsuit, and he flew her around the air suit in the tube. And I mean, she had this look of glee on her face. It was amazing. But then afterwards, she's talking to me about I've read that eating this thing is going to help me with not get Alzheimer's. And I laughed and I said, hey, sweetheart, I was like, I wouldn't bother with that. And she's like, why? And I'm like, you're in your mid-80s. I'm like, most people are doing that stuff in their like 40s and 50s. I was like, to prevent them from getting it. was like, whatever it is you were doing, you did it. And you don't have Alzheimer's. So just keep doing whatever the... Yeah, I was like, keep doing whatever the fuck it was you were doing.
Fighting Castro did it.
Yeah, you did it right. Just keep doing it.
You won. He's dead.
Oh, God, yeah.
The reward is longevity.
Oh, my God. Yes. Jesus, she's telling me shit the other day, too, because stories are starting to pop up. Like that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's ignore the horse story. But she is telling me about how, like, when she left the country, so when, like, Castro took over, she was saying that there were a lot of rich people the rich people who didn't leave within a couple days of Batista falling didn't get to leave. That once Castro took over, he made it painful for anybody, especially moneyed people, to do anything because he hated them, right? But he hated everybody to some extent because, like, my grandmother and her sister, when they were leaving the country, which is like well into years now into the Castro regime, they sent a government auditor to their house to audit everything that they owned, so that they basically couldn't sneak any of it out of the country, right? And also so they couldn't give any of it away, because the government didn't want any value going anywhere that they didn't have control of. So they had to basically be audited. Everything had to be there the day they were leaving, or else they wouldn't be allowed to leave, right? And when they got to the airport, they had to sit in a room with a kind of glass, like, a one-way glass mirror, right? And they had to wait for a government employee to come in and basically strip them of all the belongings they felt they weren't allowed to bring. So, like in my mother's case, she got to come over here with the shoes she was wearing, a dress, and her underwear. That's it. They took her suitcase, clothing away. They took everything from her. She was allowed to bring nothing. My grandmother and her mother got the same treatment. And my grandmother was trying to bring a pendant over that was from her mother, which was the only thing they had left of her mother. And she sewed it into the hemming of her dress in the vague hope that no one would find it. And they didn't. But they lost everything else. They took everything. All their belongings, all their clothes. They weren't allowed to come with anything but what they were wearing, and no jewelry, no watches, nothing. So it's funny because some of these stories are coming up now because, I'll ask questions. I'm trying to ask more questions now. I mean, as we all get older, I'm trying to ask more questions, and this stuff's coming out. And I'm kind of sitting there going, man, I was like, I wonder if I wouldn't have processed this the same way when I was younger as I'm processing it now, and if anything, like we're all adults, so it's kind of a lot easier for her to share these stories, So yeah, it's just it's interesting, all these things you don't know, the history, and the idea that as you get older, it doesn't mean you can't do fun stuff. You just need to. I think the mistake we make is that we let ourselves be old. We don't stay active. We don't keep doing things. I mean, don't get me wrong. As you get older, it takes longer to recover from getting hurt. That's absolutely true. But I think you have to have the desire to recover as well and keep doing stuff. There's a lot of people who get hurt and they're just like, fuck this, and they're just going to sit on the couch and watch TV. And then 20 years later, they're like, why can't I get off the couch? And you're like, well, you've been sitting for 20 years and your body decided you didn't need it. Like recently, I started getting into a lot of mobility exercises for basically like it sounds cheesy when you say it, like it's kind of reconnecting your body with the ground, but that's not really what it is. It's kind of reconnecting your body to being mobile on the ground. So like a lot of people don't sit cross-legged on the floor anymore. It's uncomfortable to do that, but like that's something that you should be able to do. And that position where you kneel and you kind of sit on your feet? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but there's no.
Well, yeah,
right?
but you know the positioning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we should be able to do that because that's kind of a very natural motion of human mobility. And the thing is, you can train.
You're talking about the way
Like
that
a
they
samurai.
sit in like traditional, when you're eating at a low table or whatever, right?
Yeah,
You're supposed to sit
yeah,
on your
yeah.
feet. That's what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of where you sit on your feet, but your feet are flat. You're not sitting on your heels. You're sitting with your feet flat on the floor.
I don't know if I could do that.
I can't do it, and I'm trying to train
I was
my
about
body.
to try it, but I'm afraid I'll suddenly go, ah!
Well, here's
You'll
the
hear
thing.
something
Okay,
and then a thump.
so when you
I don't know if I should try that right now.
when you try to figure out if you can, the best thing to do is to sit on something. So in my case, I sit on my wife has a yoga block. It's like I don't know, maybe it's like 10 inches tall or something like that. It's like a rectangle, and I sit on that, and then I get my legs in the positioning, and I can hold that for about 5 minutes, at which point I start cramping. But every time I do it, I get a little better, and I do feel a little looser. I feel like I get hurt less, like in a lot of kind of like the common leg areas, because I just realized I had this. I was immobile in places I didn't realize I was immobile, because you don't, as you get older, get into these kind of strange positions, and it's the strange positions that end up being everything about mobility as you get older. It's the stuff that makes it so that, like, my son had a birthday party recently at a roller rink, and I think is I go with him probably like every 2 weeks rollerblading. Well, there's a lot of older people that went there, and the next day they were destroyed. And it was like, yeah, I was like, I think it's the focus on the mobility and the capability that makes it so you can do stuff like that, and the next day you can just keep going. Like you don't wake up in the morning and go, my legs are gonna fall off, you know. But yes, realizing that there are these basic movement or positionings that you can't do. So like I can sit cross-legged. I really actually like to sit cross-legged, but I don't often do it on the floor. Also squatting, like, you know, you should be able to squat for 15 minutes. So just get in the squat position and like read a book, right? This is a very common position of the human animal, and it's something that in other countries they do it quite a bit, but in the U.S. we don't do it. We have couches, you know, and it's one of those things like, you know, if you're in the woods and you're doing something and there's nowhere to sit and you just kind of stand there and you're like, I wish there was a chair, right? Or you could drop into a squat and just sit there, and, you know, it's kind of a good, once you get comfortable with it, it's a good hold position. I mean, there's people who squat down and eat their food. Well, there's people who squat down and take a shit too. So, but it's this position. It's like you should be able to do that at least 15 minutes a day without pain, right? I'm working on it because I can't. Now I'm a short guy and I'm a weightlifter, so like my all those kind of tendons and joints and stuff have gotten very tight. But I work on it, and the more I work on it, the more fluid my body feels. I get hurt less, I get tight less, and I know that this is going to be the stuff that later on in life keeps me upright, keeps me active, makes it so that I can help my kids move in and out of college, you know, and I can do dumb shit with them. I can do dumb shit with my kids longer, and that's kind of my main goal, is to be capable of keeping up with my kids and you know, and being, you know, stupid and silly. Stay young as long as you can, I guess. So, yeah, there's some really good books out there, too. There's a basketball guy who, what is his name, who did a whole book about this stuff, and he apparently can still do really well.
Asking me about basketball shit?
No, it's not about, it's not about basketball. Hold on.
I don't even know who the players are.
The Wager of Mobility. That's what it's called. It's by a guy named Kaduri Ziani. He gets a bit preachy, but he has some really interesting stuff on like fascia and movement and mobility, and you know, these are very quick reads. Sometimes you're gonna have to, like, you know, wade through people's mantra to kind of get to the data that you need. But if you look him up, I think he has some kind of record for oldest basketball player, like dunk height or something like that. He's a big lanky guy.
Sure.
So, yeah, you know. But speaking of medical emergencies, I have a funny story to tell you that I forgot to tell you before the show.
Oh, well, how could it not be funny when you start off like that? Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's funny. It is funny. So I'm not going to tell you why. I told Joe why, but I got very angry in my car the other day. Very, very angry. And I called my wife to vent, because the way I work is I like to get my frustration out in the first couple minutes, and then Now that I've done that, I can move on to just getting things done, right? Just vent it. And I was in the car, and I was complaining, and I was upset, and I got off the phone with my wife. I just got off the phone with my wife, and I was irritated, and I knew that I was too upset, and I said to myself, "You're gonna have a heart attack." And it was kind of you got to settle down, right? And my car called 911 on me. I don't know how it did it. I don't know if it was the car.
Wait. Because it sensed you doing something?
It heard me say, "I'm going to have a heart attack." And it called 911. And I can't figure out if it was the phone or if it was the...
Yeah, that seems more like your phone.
Or if it was the car or what. I haven't been able to replicate it. That's the other thing, too. Like, I'm kind of nervous about replicating it because I had a kind of a weird call with a 911 dispatcher.
Your car fucking narked on you.
My car narked on me. And it gave me, it literally gave me a second, and then it put the call through, and I didn't want to just hang up. That's the other thing, too. Once the call went through, I didn't want to, hang up on 911. That feels a bit crappy. So I just explained to them what had happened. And the 911 operator was like, "Yeah, we get calls like that. It's fine. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry." I was like, "I did not mean to call you guys. My car, and I told them what had happened. And they were like, "Yeah, that happens. Don't worry about it." And I was like, "Okay." And I got off the phone, and I was like, "My fucking car." I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I was like, "What is this shit?" I was like, "You called 911 on me." It's like, and I got home and I was telling my wife, who was in shock at this, and she's like, "Well, I guess it's a safety feature." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I get that for someone this is a great thing, but I was talking to myself. I was telling myself to calm down. And I said, "I'm going to have a heart attack." And yeah, it called 911. Just did it. Didn't even go, "Hey, do you want me to call 911 or hit here to put 911 through?" No, it just called the motherfuckers on me. Yeah. So explain that to me.
I can't. The only thing I can think is, yeah, it's a safety feature, but I would think it would be more of a... I don't know that cars do that. I think that had to be your phone.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's because I got off the phone with my wife, and I was wondering if my phone was still listening. There's a window. Because I've shut all this shit off on my phone. But there's almost a short window when you get off your phone where your phone is still attendant. It's still listening, right? I wonder if because I said it after I got off the phone with my wife. I wonder if the phone was just listening. But I haven't been able to reproduce it. But like I said, I'm also a little wary of reproducing it. But nevertheless, I was pissed. I was pissed about one thing before that, and then I was pissed at something else entirely. And then I gave my car the silent treatment, where I was like, "I'm not talking to you, bitch." It's and then I thought, Jesus Christ, the only place your thoughts are safe are in your head, and only until the logarithms figure you out. And I was like, wow, that is a weird place to live. And I told my wife when I got home, I was like, my next car is going to be an older, used vehicle. I was like, this thing that happened, I was like, this is the end of my relationship with new vehicles. I
can't find anything indicating the car would do it.
Then it must have been the phone. But like I said, I haven't been able to get it to replicate on the phone.
But here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Which does make me wonder if it was the phone.
Yeah.
Because when I searched for that, what I did get was page after page of advisories not to drive to the hospital if you're having a heart attack, stop and call 911. Which sure sounds like people are driving to the hospital having heart attacks and having accidents or dying.
Yeah. Well, look at this.
And therefore the thing is listening.
I looked it up, and it says your device will only call 911 if you initiate an emergency call yourself or use a manual shortcut. Rather than through background audio sensor. So what the fuck? If your phone's microphone is, oh, hold on. If your phone's microphone is active, and you can say, "Hey Siri, call 911," or Jesus Christ, this will be funny. Hey Siri, I shut that off. Never mind. Hey Siri, can you call an ambulance? Siri will initiate a countdown before dialing and ask, "What shall I tell them?" Yes, I got none of that, and I didn't hit the SOS button, and I don't have none of this. This is like, none of this. This is why I'm so confused. I don't know what I did, but that fucker called 911 on me. So, fuck.
I have no explanation.
No one does. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
No one does. And it's like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, and then I sat there and I thought, do I need to be careful about, like, song lyrics now? Like, listen.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah, think about all the shit you sing. Like, sing some dark rap song and be like, "Bitch, I'm going to cut your head off." And Car's going to be like, "Calling 911 for a murder." Like.
Mm-hmm.
This coupled with my search history of late, which is all about all the terrible ways to die by knife wounds. Because my story, there's a very accomplished knife fighter, and I was looking to see how quickly people bled out from different wounds, and I'm like, "Oh, fucker, you're on a list. You were on a list before, but you're on a list now." Someone's looking at your thing going, "Is he going on a stab fest?" It's like, yeah. What are we... It starts with shit like that, where they're like, "Well, it's good that the phone called because you may have been having a heart attack." It starts there, and then it goes to,
"Oh, sure.
No, officer, I was singing a Metallica song." No, it's okay. I don't need to... I wasn't going to kill everybody. It's just a song,
Makes you wonder.
I meant to share that with you one earlier, and I just totally forgot because everything else happened in life. But yeah, I was fucking livid after that. I was livid, and I was nervous too, because when you get ratted out, my car. I mean, I've complained. I think I complained last week, didn't I, about how my car rats me out to the dealer.
I think so.
To be like, "Hey, your car let us know that you might need an oil change soon." And I'm like, "Hey, fucker, I'll bring the car to get an oil change when I feel like it. Car, stop talking to strangers.
Stop talking to them.
Yeah. Stop sharing my data, bitch." So, yeah, my next car is going to be old and decrepit and mute. It's going to be a mute fucking
like
car. I don't know. I'm going to be mute. Hopefully I won't be mute.
No, old and decrepit. Not.
Well, I'm not decrepit. Fuck you. We had a conversation about being mobile. I'm not decrepit. Old. Decrepit, no. Not yet. Yeah. So
I don't think you have to get a decrepit old car. You can get a nice old car.
Well, it doesn't have to be decrepit. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Listen, I saw a nice Corvette today. Made a noise like a panther having a crisis.
Don't get an old Corvette.
No, I know that, but it made a nice noise.
Yeah. Oh,
listen,
look.
I don't drive sport cars.
Any car can make a good noise if you put a big engine into it. That's not hard.
I'm going to be in some sort of big car. I cannot be in small cars. Sport cars, that's uncomfortable to be in. I didn't like being in sport cars when I was young and wanted to be in one.
I mean, if I was going to get an old car, I'd make it make a funny sound. Like Foghorn Leghorn every time I revved it. I say. I'd have something like that.
I would totally go for a La Cucaracha horn.
Sure. See, that's what I'm saying is I don't want to have a car that makes the same dumbass. Although, you know what? I did hear a car. This was simultaneously the stupidest and also coolest thing I heard.
Yeah.
Somebody had one of these little Honda Civic types. I don't know what exactly it was. But whatever they did to the muffler made it sound like a gas-powered RC car. I mean, exactly. Yeah, like that. And I was like, that's... The only thing they didn't do that they should have was put a big, long antenna with a ball on the end. A wiry one, and then it would have been perfect.
I heard an unintentionally devastating insult tonight while I was out. You just reminded me of it for some reason. I was at a restaurant, and a woman came in with her husband, and she was wearing a camouflage jacket.
What are you, Italian?
She was wearing a camouflage jacket, and it was covered in, rhinestone flowers, right? And I mean, when I these flowers are like maybe like 3" by 3", right?
Sure.
And the whole thing was covered in a grid pattern with these rhinestone flowers with these big plastic jewels in the middle, right? And she walked up to the maitre d', and we were sitting near the front of the restaurant, so I saw it. And I saw the woman come in this jacket, and I was like, whoa, that's a hell of a thing. And I said to my wife, I was like, hey, you should look over there. And she's like, whoa. Because and they're multicolored, too. So they were like purple flowers and red flowers and yellow flowers and pink flowers. Like it was like a rainbow sequined flowers on a camo jacket.
Okay.
And the guy behind the counter goes, oh, did you make that jacket? And she goes, no, I bought it. And he was like, oh, okay. And I could see he didn't know where to go from there. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, you just burned her, man. You burned her really hard. It's like, and you don't even realize that that's what you were just trying to be nice and didn't realize that, yeah. Oh, man.
Whoops.
Her face just dropped.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was sitting there thinking, yeah, you know what? I thought she'd made it too. Like, that was funny. Oh, well.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to be real careful when saying something like that.
Oh,
Even
no.
if you're,
You don't, yeah,
unless you're sure.
Don't talk to people.
No, well, the way that you can get your answer is, wow, that is amazing, that jacket. Where did you get it? And then, oh, actually, I made it. Wow, that's really impressive. And that dodges the problem. It does, because if they say they bought it somewhere, you've just avoided making a comment that makes them think that somebody got it at a thrift store because nobody wanted it. And and then if they did make it, you give them this ability to be prideful about the fact that they made it. You're giving them the perfect out.
It was an interesting decision, I gotta say, because it was like a military camo, like, what do they call that? That standard duffel coat type thing that they've got.
Like a peacoat type thing?
No, not a peacoat. The other one that's got the pockets on the chest and the pockets on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what it's called.
It's like an M82, something like that. Either way, yeah. So it was just a very, camo. Camo is an interesting fashion choice, period. My son went through a period in his life. That's the way I'd put it. Where I'm trying to teach him that certain patterns don't work with other patterns, right? And that sometimes when you wear patterns together, like it could be difficult on the eyes. And when he was younger, you let a lot of it go because you're like, oh, you're a little kid, you're so cute. So when he'd come down in like, fucking clashing camo, my kid would come down in like red, black and white camo t-shirt and then like green camo pants. I mean, and really like he was hurting my eyes, and I'd be like, oh, but you're so little and cute. Come on. I was like, it's fine. But then when he gets older and he comes down and he's wearing like, clashing camos, or he came down the other day with camo pants and a tie-dye shirt and a plaid flannel. And I was like, dude, this is a lot for the eyes. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you to change because radical freedom. I was like, but I'm just letting you know this hurts. It's like, and he was like, okay. And like, I don't want to, because this is the parenting portion of the show. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to tell him that he can't do something. But there are times where he shows up and I look at the way he's dressed and I'm like, this is a lot. This is a lot for me to handle. And I'm forgiving as hell. It's like, yeah. Camo, tie-dye, flannel, these are things that don't normally mix. You can use only so much. Too much pattern, man, it hurts. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if it's a personal statement. Maybe that's my own personal problem. Maybe other people think that clashing patterns is great. You hate patterns. What am I talking about? You don't wear patterns.
Well, okay. I don't wear patterns. I don't hate patterns. I do agree that
yes, but you don't
patterns
use them
are
in your attire, is what I'm saying.
No, but I think you're right that patterns are a
what?
Weapon
you have
best
worn Hawaiians.
handled with care.
You have worn Hawaiian shirts, and there's the thing is, when you wear a Hawaiian shirt, there's only so many things I think that you should wear with a Hawaiian shirt. It definitely shouldn't be patterned. Unless you're going for that like weird CIA look where you've got like, a Hawaiian shirt and camo pants. and a 1,000-yard stare.
I think it. Well, I also think it depends. I think you're right that there is a sort of there is a risk of overwhelming the visual cortex of somebody else. So a Hawaiian that is you know how some Hawaiians have the really giant leafy patterns where there's only maybe 5 or 6 total on the whole shirt.
Yeah.
That you could wear with a heavily patterned short because the top is fairly, because they're so large.
Yeah, but a Magnum PI.
Yeah, no. A standard Hawaiian or a busy Hawaiian with also shorts like that, and you start looking like Yahoo Serious or Pauly Shore. And I mean, if that's what you're going for,
gee, that's a deep cut right there.
I know, but that's the vibe you're going to be giving off. Is all I'm saying. So there is difference.
Yeah. I get a lot of weird compliments on my clothes, and I can't tell if people are fucking with me because, like, I don't think that it's worth complimenting.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that you should get a chuckle out of. Ooh. That belt buckle you got me with my name on it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, the thing I get the most consistent compliments on. People love that goddamn belt buckle. And I honestly think part of it is because then they know what my name is.
It says your name. I mean, honestly, that's the best thing to have in a workplace, isn't it?
And that's what I say. I'm like, yeah, it makes sure nobody ever forgets my name. Not that anybody would, because I mean, I'm kind of a weird quality where I work, but
I'm glad that it has a life, and it brings enjoyment to somebody.
Oh yeah, lots of people look at that belt buckle. Which is sort of a weird thing because there's oftentimes I'll see people's eyes going to my crotch area and I'm like, oh yeah, the belt buckle.
You're like, hey, my eyes are up here.
I'm not just a piece of meat, baby. You know, yeah, there is that. But yes, that is probably and I mean, I've worn that since you got it for me. That's my work belt buckle.
That's funny. That's very funny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't even wear belts anymore. I have all these cool belt buckles.
Just so the audience knows, it's just my first name. It doesn't have my entire name on it. That would be a large note.
It's not a big like brass band across the front of your body.
No. Yeah, no, because I saw it, I'm like, oh wait, if I say my name, then I think I need my home.
I found this weird vintage buckle that had just said Joe on it, and I was like, well, how can I let that go?
Yeah, and it's very clear block letter. It's not overly ornate. It's very simple.
No, it's
block letters.
It's straightforward. It's there, you know,
and it stands out because I wear black jeans with a black leather belt,
and it's so also not a huge. Out. It's not a huge buckle, which is fun too. Like it's a pretty good size.
In fact, I accidentally bought the wrong size. And
it's a small belt. It takes like a small business belt type thing.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird size.
So yeah, well, I like that. I like that it gives you. I like that it has life as a weird business piece. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I get weird compliments. And, like, I know that, like, I have a penchant for, I don't want to sound racist. So be very careful how I say this.
Boy, that should be the show title right there. Go ahead.
No, because... So when I go out in the summer, this is especially in the summer.
I'm just saying, when you lead off with that statement.
No, because you'll see what I mean. When I go out in the summer,
it's getting into
white girls bore me.
When I go out in the summer in shorts and I wear shorts and I wear Hawaiian shirts. I'm usually in sandals, and then I usually have some kind of big hat. I like cowboy hats. I like big brimmed hats, and I'm most of the type. I like color, right? So like. You know, I'm the type of person that I'll fucking match my shorts, the color of my shorts to like my hat band or some shit like that. Not intentionally. Very often it'll just happen because I like color and I just quickly, if I'm getting dressed, I just grab stuff that visually makes sense to me, right? It's not even like I'm planning. It's like I'm just, I mean, I'm sure you have this, where you almost have like a gut reaction to color, right? And when I'm dressed like that and I'm out and about, my Hawaiian shirts and got all my tattoos out because, you know, I don't want to say I'm covered, but my limbs are covered. I get an inordinate amount of compliments from black women to the point of which that my wife thinks it's weird. Like just every time we go out, and it'll be funny because like it'll happen, and she'll be like, "Oh, that was quick. Like we just got to a place and someone compliments me. Like it happens in the grocery like 3 or 4
Oh,
times.
no, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Right? But it's specifically like black women from like 20s to like 20s up. I'm gonna say 20s up because there's been older women and younger women, and like there was a woman that was going on about how she just liked the whole package, and she was telling my daughter at this that I'm sure the phrase she used was, "Do you realize that your father is all that?" And my youngest was like, no. And I was like, it's okay. I was like, and my standard line is thank you very much, because I want to be kind and courteous, but these things make me uncomfortable. So I was like, gotta go.
But inside your skull,
no, I never have dynamite in my skull. I wish, Jesus Christ, I wish I had dynamite in my skull. We should all have dynamite in our skull now and then.
Well, I agree with that.
And maybe if I was a single man, this would be like awesome. Really, I mean, if I were a single man tomorrow and I had to have someone compliment me, I would really love it to be like a black goth girl, and like her.
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I don't think I just think that's kind of like a unicorn for me. But beyond that. It's a weird thing.
I'm not surprised by that because...
And like black men as well. Black men really dig my tattoos. No, I get so many compliments.
The color
on my
thing
tattoos.
makes sense because one of the things that is generally seen as the white outfit is boring, lifeless colors. Beige khakis is white people issue number one. Just beige color. An inability to have strong personality and
have
color.
Fun?
Not fun. It's just that is something I have heard individuals who are not white often talk about as, well, this is white people wear boring colors.
I told you
about I've looked around and it's kind of true.
I told you about the fuck the world nurse, right?
I think, I don't know if you ever said that on the...
Did I ever say it on the show?
I don't know. You can tell it again. I don't care.
All right. As an example...
It's like checking in an Italian airport. There are no rules. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there you go. So if I've told the story before, I'm sorry, but it's a funny story, and it makes sense for this situation, which is that I pulled something in my lower abs, and when you pull your lower abs, it was a fitness injury.
I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah. What?
That at first it sounded like you said in my lower ass because you kind of dropped the B out for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as fine as.
I was over at my movie shelf looking to see if I was, and I whipped around because I went, wait a second, I don't remember this story. So, go on,
it's not as fine. It's
interrupt.
not as fine as Joe's ass, but no, it's my ass is fine.
I mean, yeah, seriously.
So I pulled my lower abdominal, and when you pull,
is my specialty.
Is where I thought we were going.
And when you pull your lower abdominals. It feels kind of like you've been kicked in the balls. But, like, you got kicked in the balls 10 minutes ago. You know that dull ache that you get, right? Where you've been kicked in the balls a little while ago, but it's still there, right? That's what I get when I have a lower abdominal pull. So I went to the doctor, and my doctor is a very nice, small Indian woman. But the nurse... when I went in there she was a big black girl, and on her forearm was the tattoo "Fuck the World," and there was I think it was like a burning globe above it or something like that, right? And I'm in shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, and she was like, I love your tattoos. And I was like, hey, I really am impressed that you have that tattoo because, fuck the world, that's amazing to have that in a nurse's, as a nurse in a doctor's office, right? And I told my nurse, I was like, because my tattoos are all black. So basically, if you look at me wearing shorts and a t-shirt, it just looks like I have black tattoos. But I have color tattoos. They're just all basically from like the hem of my shorts up to like my crotch. Like that's where I put the color because it never sees the light of day. And therefore it's always very pretty. And my wife is the only one who really sees it. And I think it's incredibly funny because, it's kind of like, secretly I'm colorful, right? So I told her, I was like, I have color tattoos, but they're they're behind they're under my undergarments. You can't see them, and it's comical. And she was like, "Oh, okay," and that was it. And then my doctor came in and checked me out, and I thought we were done with the appointment. And she was like, "Okay," she's like, "I have to check your testicles." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I have to make sure that you don't have like a, what do you call it, a hernia, right?" And I was like, I think I'm good." And she was like, No, we have to check them. It's part of the, for the kind of injury that you may have. She's like, "But we need a chaperone." Because I'm a female doctor and we can't have, we can't be alone in a room together with this kind of thing. And I was like, okay. And like, I don't really have any shame. So I was like, okay, fine, So and guess who comes back in the room? But Fuck the World. So Fuck the World comes back in. Down come my shorts and my underwear. There are my pretty tattoos. And, my doctor scientifically manhandles my nether region. It's the nicest way to put it. And Fuck the World is just kind of hanging out. And then
just for clarity, to make sure the audience understands, when you say there are my pretty tattoos, you're referring to
my
actual
colored
tattoos.
My colored tattoos on my upper thighs. Yes,
okay.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So people don't think that that's a euphemism for something else.
No, it's not a euphemism. I have pretty colorful tattoos on my upper thighs.
I know. I'm just saying that in the structure of that sentence, that could have been seen as you trying to dance around saying something else. So I'm just making sure everybody is on the same page.
And the doctor says, "Okay, you can pull your pants up now," and the nurse can go. And Fuck the World, she's like about to leave, and she leans in really close, and she goes,
"Come on, show me your dick."
I timed that so well because I had to start it as your sentence was ending.
I know, but she'd seen it the whole time. And she says, "I really love your tattoos." She like whispered it to me because she felt bad. She's like, "I really love your tattoos," and then she like kind of raced out of the room.
Wow.
And I always thought that was so endearing. I thought that was so funny. And it's this weird thing where, for whatever reason, my unintentional look too, because like I don't look in the mirror and go, "This is my look." Like I just get dressed and go, "This feels right," and then I go out. And it's a weird demographic for me. It's a weird demographic because I don't know what I'm doing that like alerts it. And maybe you're right. It's just maybe that I'm colorful and I like fun hats. I mean, I like to dress fun. I hope that I present as someone who enjoys a good time. Who knows, Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't want to come off like I was saying something racist. It's just a very weird observation that I've noticed. Dynamite! I'm sure you have far more dynamite moments than I do, sir.
Well, no, not in a.
You know what? I have this image now of you walking down a hallway and the camera being zoomed in just on your belt,
on the buckle,
and then slowly zooming out to you going down the hallway, and all the people at your job being like, "Joe, we need your help."
No, in a sense, I do have lots of those moments, but they have nothing to do with physicality. They have everything to do with the fact that I'm not a Californian, which I cherish deeply. It's very clear I'm not from here, and I'm thrilled that has not worn off, because I just every so often.
I don't feel like I'm from anywhere anymore.
No, I still have my New York interior. And
you're wrong. You know what? Listen, I don't think you're a New Yorker anymore, but I think you're still an East Coaster. I think the East Coast it holds on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarcasm. Isn't that the thing that sarcasm is not a really big West Coast thing?
Not the way we do it, no.
Not the vicious fucking way that we do it, yeah.
That's what I mean, is there's... it's just it's things people say about me. And they're not bad things, but they say there's certain phrases used. And I've come to realize the novelty is the lack of my bullshitting sense that I don't soften things. And that's the biggest thing. Is people here are used to people, dancing around things. I'm like, I don't do that. And I don't know. It's things like that, but it's not like, oh, I want a fine ass on it. It's not that type of thing. It's more of the attitude thing, which is actually fine because that will not go away with age. Everything else is going to sag and wrinkle and droop and do all the shit it does. But that's not going anywhere.
But the fire will remain.
If anything, it's getting worse. So,
Well, that fire is, yes, yeah.
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 So in that sense, yeah, I do.
I identify with your fire.
The only thing I've got is the ass thing, I don't know, but that's the only one.
Oh, that you think you have a fine ass.
I don't get it. I've been told that. I don't think I've got to find anything. So, I mean, the only thing I recognize is my eyes are symmetrical. That's it. Look in the mirror, I'm like, yes, they're even. Seriously. That's the only thing I physically look at in the mirror and go, yeah, that came out. And my nose
is the sign of somebody who's sporting some fascinating OCD. What can you say about yourself? Yeah. I have symmetrical eyes.
My eyes are symmetrical. They are. They're even.
You know what?
It's
my
a
ears
weird
are
thing
off,
when you start
are
to
very
notice.
slightly off from each other. And if I measure my beard by my ears, my beard will always look off. I have to measure it to my eyes.
I've never looked at whether my ears are even. I don't care. The
don't
eyes
start down
are
that
something
road.
That once
don't start matching parts. It's just a terrible thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's a bad idea. But but eyes are a strange thing because once you. And it took me a long time to realize that some people's eyes are not symmetrically even. I don't know why. I just never.
Have you ever done a mirror of Mila's face to see how it looks? Because everyone's face is a little bit asymmetrical.
No.
And when you
yes, I know that there are probably very few people who actually have truly symmetrical faces.
And when you look at a mirror image of like half their face, it looks so weird, and you don't realize like that we all have kind of these like oddly asymmetrical faces.
Well, yes, I'm not. Again, I don't want to point it out like I have one where if you put a mirror, you wouldn't notice it. But the thing that of all the people that made me notice it, it was Ryan Gosling. Because I looked at his eyes and I went, "Oh."
When did you meet Ryan Gosling?
I never met him. I saw a picture of him. Never met him. But that was where I really saw the asymmetrical thing.
That'd be awesome.
Wow, look at that.
I would love it if you met Ryan Gosling and he looked at you, he looked into your eyes, and he just said, "Your eyes are so symmetrical," and walked away.
Well, actually, I would be very happy with that as well.
Amazing story.
Oh, sure.
God, that's like something Bill Murray would do.
Probably, yeah. I would be shocked. Yeah, I could see that.
Jesus
but
Christ.
No, I just mean I saw his eyes and went, oh, yeah.
I tried to find a mirror of Mila's face, and instead I found this chart that shows how Mila has looked the same for like 40 years.
Yeah, she's looked largely the same almost
like
the whole
15 to 49. You're like, yep.
Yeah, I was going to say, when she was very young, she looked different, and now she's starting to look different. But outside of that...
Well, you know.
In between...
This is the whole everyone getting older.
Oh, but I don't... You know what? This is another thing I've realized about myself, which I'm very happy about, because it means I'm not a pedophile. And it's always nice to have this reassurance. Is Mila is a safe woman for me to be fixated on because the age is very close. So I'm like, oh, this isn't a weird thing. I don't like seeing her when she's really young, because that's gross to me. But she's not that much older than me. And she's not vastly younger than me. So I'm age appropriate
there's no point
with my
where
attractions. That's great.
Well,
yeah. Because I've seen people who are like, well, she's never looked the same since Return to the Blue Lagoon. I'm like, you're fucking gross.
No,
you
know what?
Zero interest in
I honestly, like we were talking about, people in their peak form. She looks so young in that movie.
Like, I mean, I don't think she's particularly good looking in Dazed and Confused either.
I think Mila in Fifth Element is, for me, like just because I'm a nerd, it's the nerd peak Mila.
Oh no, I agree. And the thing is, because she's what? She's like 2 or 3 years older than us. Not that much.
She put me on orange hair. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, let's put it this way. She's 3 years older than me. Right?
Oh, there you go.
So that means in the Fifth Element, she's roughly my age. So yeah, I agree. She's 75. 1975 birth date. Sorry.
Let's be very clear.
She's born in 75. Yeah, she was born in 75. So that is well within the range. So that's great.
That's funny. 75. How old is Helen Mirren?
She's not... Well, Helen Mirren is probably... She may be 75.
How old is she? She's 80.
Okay.
I love young Helen Mirren. I mean, I love older Helen Mirren,
sure.
too. But young Helen Mirren is also really pretty. You know what? Angela Bassett too. That's another one. When we were we're doing this thing this month of maybe movies. Or maybe may be they're
Maybe
still
it won't
good.
suck.
And one of the movies I was looking at was Strange Days at first because it's in the right years. But then I was like, oh, fuck it. We know that movie is good. And it is. But I was looking
look, if you want to watch it, Juliette Lewis is naked for 70% of that movie, so I'll watch it.
Oh, fuck you. If you want to watch that movie, we can listen, we can make sure it's still good, but it's fucking amazing. So anyway, but Angela Bassett,
I'm not doubting that.
Yeah, Angela Bassett is astounding to me in that movie. And the thing is, I looked her up the other day, and like, man, she's one of these people who is so much older than I think she is, and yet she looks amazing. She's 67, and when you look at her, I'm like, no, she's not 67.
Well, I remember when she was in Black Panther, I was like, holy shit, she looks great.
She's the grandmother? I'm like, she's not your fucking grandmother. She looks amazing. Yeah, like, Angela... I was so angry.
And
what
plus,
was the Mila movie
she's still
saw?
pretty ripped too.
Well, there's that, yeah. But like when she shows up in that movie with Mila, and they did nothing with Angela Bassett, I was just like, "Fuck you, movie!"
What a crime! What a goddamn crime that is.
Yeah. So,
but
she does not.
I'm looking at a picture of her from accepting an award in 2024, and her arms, she could probably punch through my face.
Oh god, there's
with
a really
minimal effort.
Where's that photo? Okay, here you go. I found this. Unfortunately, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm not going to even do that. Copy. I am not even going to send you that link. I'm going to send you the picture. Because friends don't let friends go to Facebook.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Give me this picture. Give it to me.
I really don't. I don't want to go to Facebook
anymore. No, that's why. Look at that photo. It's 2022 and 2025. Angela Bassett.
Jesus, I think she looks better in 2025.
It's fucking amazing, yeah.
Well, maybe not better. Maybe it's because she's wearing those pants. I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tight sparkly pants are a good look for her.
That's, she's one of those actresses, like, I just don't believe her age. I just don't.
Yeah, no, she looks incredible.
And I guess this is what happens,
because
right?
I don't think she's had work done. See, this is the magic thing.
Or
if
she has, it's been very clever.
Or minimal.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I think as you get older, listen, there are still guys that when they're older, they look at younger women and they're like, ooh.
Or look, it may be what you were talking about earlier, because I just said in 2024, the picture I saw, she was pretty jacked. Maybe it is the fitness thing. She's keeping herself and her system's running in top shape, and that's keeping everything rejuvenated.
Hey, listen, I dig fit girls, so.
Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it is just that she's keep doing everything correctly, and so it pays off.
Yeah. Man,
so,
strange things.
Strange Days.
Strange Days is still a fucking like
Stranger Things
movie. The music and all that stuff, and like I didn't know this. I found out a weird detail of that movie I didn't know when I was looking it up. So for that end ball sequence for when it turns 2000, they actually held a rave. And do you know who they invited? One of the 3 artists they invited to that rave?
Who? Mobius?
Aphex Twin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Correct choice.
He performed at the rave that they threw for the movie.
Yeah, that's why there's no reason for us to watch for Maybe It Won't Suck, because they clearly made all the right decisions.
Yeah.
They cast Angela Bassett.
Plus that end song, the whole end sequence.
And she sings her song. I think Juliette Lewis sings her song in that movie.
So Juliette Lewis sings all her own music. She was trained to do it by PJ Harvey. PJ Harvey wrote it all.
Yeah, okay.
Trained her to sing it, and she does all the PJ Harvey songs.
I mean, is there anything that could possibly suck about that movie? Let's be honest.
No, it's amazing. You got all these good people in it. Fucking oh god, Kingpin. What's his name? He's one of the bad guys.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is one of the bad guys. Tom Sizemore is a maniac. Ray Fiennes is on his way up. Angela Bassett looks amazing. It's being directed by Catherine Bigelow, who we just said they're doing the
Near Dark,
the 4K of Near Dark, and it's got one of the greatest kind of romantic end sequences to a movie, with the music and Ray Fiennes going from limo to limo looking for the girl. Like, I mean, it's fucking just amazing. That is just, you know, when you talk about if there was if you could be responsible for a work of art, like if tomorrow somebody was like, hey, there's going to be a slip up in the time stream, and you will end up having been responsible for a certain work of art, right? What work of art would it be? What work of art do you wish you had been responsible for? Strange Days is one of those movies that I'd be like, you know what? I would like to be responsible for that. like Catherine Bigelow has had fucking an awesome career so far. So,
Sure.
You know, Strange Days is one of those movies. Can you think? Is there a painting that you wish you were responsible for?
Is there a painting I wish I was responsible for?
If there was going to be, like I said, like a time slip or something like that, and you were going to end up having been
Well, I was thinking movies, but...
movies too. Anything. Any form of art.
Oh, the movies is easy. Yes, Madam, or Stalker. Easy. I mean, I don't have to think about that.
Man, that's such a
Those
weird...
are the two.
It's such a weird pairing, too, because it's a very different...
It's not really, because it's got... The end of Yes, Madam is the greatest end to any movie I've ever seen, with two absolutely amazing women beating the shit out of everybody. And Stalker is a transcendent experience that I don't even know what to compare it to. It's so good. So either of those. As far as a work of art, that's an interesting question. A work of art. Like something that's hanging in a gallery type. Actually, no, I know it's not well, I guess it is a painting. The cover, the original poster art for the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Oh shit.
That work of art is, I cannot believe anybody ever does any other version
with the
of
claws?
a poster for that movie. Yep, where she's like staring and her hair is all shocked out, and then his claws are coming down. There's the eyeball. If not top 5 of all poster art for a movie ever. I've mentioned it multiple times. That, I would pay good money for the original of that if it was even remotely within my ability. And I would feature it where anybody walking into the house would have to see it.
It's a good litmus
that
test,
good.
Isn't it? Someone walks in and goes, "Hey, I love your poster."
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's funny too because it's almost. Well, I think it's better than the movie. That's one of those posters that when I see it...
Yes. Oh, no. I completely agree. No, I'm completely in agreement. Yeah.
It's one of those ones you see it and you think, Jesus, this should have been to a better movie.
I mean, look, the movie has great moments. As a total movie, it is... I don't ever really go back to it compared to the second and third ones, really.
Yeah.
But that artwork is... It's just spectacular. There's no other word for it, really. Because people they'll say, "Oh,
just a quick question before we
Sure.
move on to other things. Who did the actual art for that poster?
The painter. Okay, I always forget his name. It's somebody we would know. Hold on, let's see. I feel bad that I don't know it right off the top of my head.
Is it where she's in bed and he's got the claws over her eyes?
Matthew Peak. Okay. I always think it's the guy who did the Star Trek the motion picture, whose name is Bob Peak, I think. So I always
totally see that. How you?
I mix it up because that's the Bob Peak, I believe, is the guy who did the really colorful.
Somebody has a really nice laminate poster of it on.
There's great posters.
Yeah, that's a good. It is good. I mean, it is good. It transcends the movie.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We mentioned our movie project, so if you're ready.
Oh, sure. Hold on. Let me get to my little sound thing here and make sure I get the right one. Here we go. Got it. I always like to make sure I get it right.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
You shut the fuck up! Thanks for killing my mom. No problem.
See white girls bore me.
You can eat shit and die, Colonel.
I do want you to come.
Okay. I'm just going to keep that sound clip for general usage, to be honest. Yeah. Did you forget about that line?
No, I totally. But then the second you played it, I was like, I know where that's from.
Yeah.
I know the unfortunateness because when we watched the movie, you were like, "Oh, I'm cutting that."
Yeah. So we're going to go in a different order than we actually than we watched them. I want to go in ascending quality if that's all right with you.
Okay, that's fine because I figure
So-
I think I know what's last, but then what's
Oh no, you know the order. We pretty much. I think you know the order.
Okay,
We're just swapping
let
the
me-
second and third one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So we for maybe it won't suck, or maybe it'll be good, or maybe whatever. The basic idea
Maybe
is we're
it
taking
won't suck.
movies. We're taking movies that we haven't seen in quite a while. In the case of one of these, I know it's been 30 plus years since I've seen it last. The one that I've seen the most recently was 17 years ago. So a while. And we're going back and watching these, and we're each picking different ones. And you picked a real gem as far as a movie featuring a man with a mustache. That's a little hint I'll give. But that I haven't seen that one probably in 20 years at least. But anyway, so the three that we watched were all from the mid to late 80s. Not really a surprise because these are movies
no, because
that,
we're also trying to get movies that have a certain amount of years that have gone by too.
Well, I was going to say because in many cases these are going to be movies that were on high rotation when we were young.
Yes.
And those will tend to be movies that are probably we would see on movie channels a couple of years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years after they were big, or more, because some of these were low budget films. So they may have been, immediately thrown onto these things. So that's going to be probably most of what we're seeing. So we started off with, I believe this one's 1988, if I remember, which is Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is 1988. A movie starring Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I forgot.
Name?
I forgot all the sex shit, by the way, in this movie. I forgot it was all about his penis.
I remembered it was a central thing. I didn't remember most of the
totally
middle
forgot.
of the movie,
But
which there's a good reason for.
I want to say something up front.
Sure.
So while you're watching the movie, who's the female lead in the movie from Conan?
Sandal Bergman.
Yeah,
if I'm
so the
pronouncing it
Valkyrie.
right.
So we were going on
The
when
Valkyrie
we were
from
watching
Conan.
the movie about how she wasn't as big as she was when she did Conan, right?
Right.
And I was a little annoyed about that because I thought she was in incredible fitness in that movie. And then we said maybe that's not her norm. So I looked some things up about her because I figured why not, bring something to the show. That is very unlike her. She was a dancer. Now this is an indictment in one direction, but also a good reason for something. So that's the reason that she doesn't look the way that she looked when she did Conan. She specifically trained up from being a dancer to being a Valkyrie in that movie, right? And apparently, did you know she had to do a lot of her own stunts because they couldn't find a woman the same size as her?
I do remember in the commentary they mentioned something about that. Yeah.
Right. So when she left Conan,
Because I think she almost got killed doing one of them.
there's some, I know there's some sequences that were a little hairy for her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When she left Conan and went on to do other movies, she did not keep up with that training, and she went back to having a very lean dancer's body. This is an indictment because part of the reason she liked this movie was because she got to dance, right? Because she has training as a dancer. But the dancing that she does in this movie is so terrible. Then when I read that she was a trained dancer, I was like, no. I was like, I mean, physically it makes sense, but come on. I was like, the dancing in this movie was was a headache.
This movie shares a problem with another movie that we watched in that there's a main character who feels like they are really wrongly used.
They're not in the right movie.
Well, I mean, they may be in the right movie, but they clearly weren't written well. The character isn't that great. Is the least interesting when they clearly should be more interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is the one of the three that I was the most at the end uninterested in.
Yeah, you weren't hugely thrilled with this one, and I
mean, it was
fine.
Say, none of these movies are bad.
No, I want to say
none
up front,
of them are
though,
bad.
before we get into it, I enjoyed this movie way more than I thought it was gonna. I don't remember it, but I do remember that when I watched it, we watched. Oh God, what was the one we watched the other day with Mila? With James Franco. We watched so many Mila movies the other day. What was the James Franco one we watched? Where she gets stabbed?
Something World. Future World.
Future World, right. So when we watched Future
yeah.
World, I remember saying to you that this movie reminded me of these bad movies that I watched when I was a kid, right? And here's the thing. We watched this movie. This is the bad movie that I was thinking about when I watched Future World, right? Future World is Hell Comes to Frogtown on some level. And in that movie, the android is kind of like, you know, she's supposed to be like the Roddy character because she's the unique thing that everybody wants to some degree, right? But either way, it's a movie about sex that doesn't really have, like, sex in it. Like, sex is a thing, but it's really not that movie could have been so heavily sexed up, and it wasn't, right? I mean, they even cut away from having a lesbian sequence. And Hell Comes to Frogtown is like that, too. There is, like, tons of adolescent sexual humor, right? But it never graduates into anything. Like, it never becomes like a hot and heavy Basic Instinct style movie. Like, you know, there's never an action sequences movie that you see and you're like, ooh. Like, if anything, you know, Roddy Piper plays his character as like this tired hunk of a man that's like, I guess I'm just gonna have to have sex with every sexy woman. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to do it. It's my duty. You're like he's so resigned to his fate. But that's the thing, is that for me, this is that bad movie. I barely remembered it, but when we finally sat down, I was like, oh no, this is it. This is the framework for so many bad apocalyptic quasi-sexy movies that I watched. So it's not a good movie, but it's so fundamental to like this, you know, a teenage version of myself and its understanding of like, you know, chunky B-movie sci-fi that like I can't help but like love it. You know, it's like that bad uncle. You're like, oh god, you know, he's a little bit racist and he has really bad humor, but like I can't help the fact that sometimes he's really fucking funny, that kind of thing. Anyway, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have that same affection towards it. It's fine, but
I know you don't,
yeah. I feel like that woman was wasted in a number of ways, and I don't care as much about her looking skinny. I mean, yes, she looks different. But that wasn't my problem with it. My problem with it was that I didn't think the character was any good. She's standoffish and repulsive towards him, and then suddenly isn't.
Oh, no,
whereas
listen.
The gunner...
It's not a good movie. It's not written well. I mean, it is not a good movie, right? We'll get it just hands down. It isn't. Well, but it is for me, a funny B-movie. And you are correct. They didn't use the Valkyrie enough. They didn't kind of understand the timetable on that role between, because she's supposed to end up like the love interest. And you're right.
Yeah.
The woman who plays the gunner in the car, there isn't enough of her, and I mean she's sexy as hell. So it is weird that, you know, the way they set it up.
And the frogs are barely in it. They make this whole thing about these frogs having their own zone and everything, and you barely see them. And the ones that we see, you and I agree, the best one, we barely see him.
Oh, the one in the
Fez with the
Fez, yeah.
Don Johnson jacket.
Oh,
that
God,
guy's
the Fez
awesome.
One. The Fez one was so
good. The Fez one is great.
The way his mouth was moving.
Yeah, this is the type of movie where one of the frogs should have defected and been with them the whole time.
Well, okay, so one of the frogs did kind of defect. It was the sexy one that wanted to have sex with him.
Yeah, but that's not until, you know, when did we get to the Frog Town? Halfway or so more into the movie?
You are correct. They spent so much time getting there.
Yeah.
You know, there should have been...
Yeah.
And you know what? You're correct. There's another problem. One of the other movies has this problem, which is they spend more time getting there than being in the place that's hilarious. You know?
Right. So that's what holds it back from being a movie I would revisit. Really. Is that I'm just like, okay, the middle of this, they're on the road. As you said, it's supposed to be very sexy, yet it's completely sterile for the most part. Roddy Piper's character at times seems unwilling to have sex, and then suddenly he's all about it.
You had a really great line about him in this movie where you said that Roddy Piper managed to be the working man's like action star or something like that. Like,
he looks like a real person who could be doing these things. He always had that blue collar.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but he's not so big.
He's not Hulk Hogan where it's like, okay, this is unrealistic. He looks like somebody,
like a construction worker.
You see that's exactly where I was going to go. You will see these construction workers, and some of them look like they drink beer all day, but others of them, you can tell the work is keeping them in great shape. They are actually, when they're not at work, they're not just eating McDonald's all day. So the work is bulking them up. And you understand that these guys could probably throw a fucking steel I-beam at you with little effort because they're doing hard work. And the thing is, this is why when some guys go to prison, they come out looking like they could run through tanks.
Well, all they do is lift weights and fight.
That's all they're doing is they're focusing their lives into building their bodies up. And that's what they're doing. And construction workers... There are some that are going to look like they're schlubs because even though they're working hard all day,
they're usually pretty strong still.
I didn't say they were weak.
Yeah.
What I was about to say was it's because, yes, they're doing hard work all day, but then they're going home and their off-shift lives are not so well healthily taken care of. Yes, and then there are others who do all that work all day and then actually eat well and stay somewhat fit when they're not at work. And that's usually the delineation between them. But I agree. Look, I'm sure the average construction worker who isn't just holding a stop sign all day and does nothing else, the ones who are doing the actual labor, they're going to be strong guys. But some of them don't go home and maintain they look more like me than you. That's the difference, right? So that's what I'm saying is he looks like somebody who worked on a crew and also probably at home liked lifting weights. And so he's just big enough that you understand that he has some power.
He's formidable.
But he does not. Yes, he's formidable, but he doesn't look like Schwarzenegger.
Or The Rock.
Who looks like exactly what he was. A guy who dedicated his life
Arnold was immense.
to being a bodybuilder for a while. That's what I'm saying is Roddy Piper, if you were to say they found this guy, forget the wrestling background. They walked onto a construction site and asked a bunch of guys, and looked at a bunch of guys working in the sun and saw one who took his vest off and went, that guy.
Like, we want that
I
guy.
would believe that. I would believe him. Yeah, the guy whose sweat made his shirt stick to him and they were like, I can see the muscles on him, but he looks believable. Take that guy. And luckily he could act. I would have no trouble believing that story. Whereas some other action stars of this time period, it's less believable that way than just a normal...
It's like Stallone in Demolition Man when they put him into that fucking ice.
Oh, yeah, come on.
And you're like, holy shit, man. I was like, you look amazing. I was like...
Yes. Right. Yeah, exactly. Or, when Schwarzenegger is in Total Recall working with the lumber, with the concrete, what do they call jackhammer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, man, this, but his pal looks like the other type of construction worker.
Yeah.
Balding, a little big with the, you know what I'm saying? There it is.
There it is.
But I'm not gonna believe for even a second that the average construction worker is ever going to look like Schwarzenegger just naturally. No way. So that's where Roddy Piper was different. He looks like if he walked off the set and back onto a construction crew, I would not be surprised.
And I love Roddy Piper. Let me be very clear. Roddy Piper is awesome. I love him in that.
I have no issue with him.
Yeah, he's great.
In fact,
and I wish he did more stuff.
I really don't have an issue with anybody in this movie. I blame the writing.
Yeah.
The writing was a problem. And I think this might have been a case where like one of the directors got pulled and they got replaced or something because the movie's tone jumps back and forth a lot.
Well, it doesn't.
If I remember,
it doesn't know whether it wants to be
problem.
like a gritty future
it's
action,
Three Stooges to post-apocalyptic dystopia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is that Roddy Piper can do both of those.
Yes.
So, but some of the other people around him cannot, and the frog people. I mean, it's hard to take them seriously, especially when one of them has, 3 penises? Is that what happens? he has like she gets
the
attacked
dance of
by
the three snakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Like when that happens, you're just sitting there going, "Okay, come on. This should have just been a comedy. You should have just leaned into it and been like, this shit is funny." But they don't. They hold back. They want to have it be like, a little bit serious at times, and
Well, but even in that, this again is my point about the frogs. You just get so little of them. Like the Fez one is such an interesting character right off the bat.
You see him once.
Yeah, he's a wheeler dealer frog in a Fez. Frogman.
In a white suit.
That right there, right, is great. And even the woman, the one who falls in love with Roddy Piper,
man. Honestly,
she grew on me pretty quick. I liked her the more that went on.
I'm telling you right now, the fact that Roddy Piper did not have sex with that frog woman is an indictment on that movie.
Yeah, and it is kind of sad when she gets killed.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that would have made that movie. They would have had to do a whole body prosthetic on her.
but it would have been.
It would have been hilarious. And that's what I mean, is that so much of the sex in this movie is comedic. Like it's never ooh. It's always he's got a what is it? A chastity belt on with a hatch.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
yeah, and like when the gunner's crawling on him, they're not playing that for laughs. She's like,
no.
Let's go.
No, she's like, and she says to him, "I know that you can't get me pregnant, but I just want to fuck you, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go, yeah."
He's like, all right, because he understands. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and suddenly it gets kind of like, it gets kind of post-apocalyptic there, and you're like, oh, okay, you can't breed with me, but we'll have sex even though it's illegal, and then she uses the taser on his balls, and you were like, oh, we're in a comedy again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. Listen. Hal Comes to Frogtown is not a good movie, but I stand by the fact that I still think it is a fairly fun movie, and I'll watch it again in like 20 years.
I doubt I'll ever watch it again, but I will say I don't know of anything else quite like it, so I wouldn't tell people not to watch it. It's a unique slice of specific.
Everyone should see Hal Comes to Frogtown once at least.
Yeah,
just once. Just see what happened.
I generally agree with that. Yeah,
and then and then do other things.
So then we're going to skip over the movie we watched next because that's the one I think we're going to agree is way better than. I think that movie was better. Well, we'll get to that.
What's funny is that a lot of these movies, the problem I'm having is the sentiment because. Go ahead and present the next movie, and then I'll explain the sentiment.
Well, then we watched 1980, I believe 6 is Eliminators.
Yeah.
Hold on. Eliminators is 86, I'm pretty sure. Yes, is 1986. And I always remembered liking this movie quite a bit because of the man tank, or the mandroid, technically.
Mandroid.
And right off the bat, I said this in my short review. I said this to you when we were watching it. I want to make this point because it is something that, especially if you're younger and you never experienced video stores, you may not be aware of this lie that happened very often. You would go into a video store. Obviously, if you're old enough, you remember this. And for example, Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall, if you look up Chopping Mall movie poster, you will likely find an amazingly illustrated poster of this robotic cyborg hand with sharp claws holding a shopping bag full of body parts. It is an amazing piece of artwork that is an outright lie because you will never in that entire fucking movie see any robotic thing that comes anywhere near what that artwork is telling you the movie contains. And that was a frequent lie, and it was very, very prevalent in science fiction and fantasy. Remember many Boris Vallejo style covers where a beefcake shining man with a magic sword fought a 20-foot tall monster that never appeared. In the movie, it was a guy who was probably in decent shape, but certainly not what the artwork showed you, fighting a guy in a rubber suit or something that looked like a Ren Fair cosplayer would be embarrassed to show up with, even if he was running late. And that's what the movie actually gave you. as opposed to what the box art showed. But Eliminators shows you front and center a half man, half tank firing a gun with a glowing facial eyepiece, and motherfucker, that's what's in the movie. So,
oh yeah,
right there.
Oh yeah,
I give this movie massive credit because it delivered, and I'm not talking about a one shot of a static tank tread. That fucking thing moves, and the guy's in it, and it's awesome.
Oh, wait,
it was awesome when I was a kid. It's fucking awesome now.
The Mandroid effect is probably the best part of this movie.
Yes.
And the arm effect. I think that the arm effect in this movie is better than anything James Cameron did in Terminators. Either of them.
I completely agree. I said this to you when we were watching it. I cannot think of a better effect where the guy clearly has his other arm and is tucking it back.
Yeah, and
what I think they did is I think they put it into the backpack very tightly.
So he has the Mandroid suit has a backpack built in, and when he's changing his arm out, they have him put his arm into the backpack, and then they have this really excellent prosthetic. Plus, I think he's actually I think a lot skinnier than the suit makes him out to look.
Yes, they made the suit bigger. They thought ahead. They thought ahead.
So they made it so that he looks like he doesn't have a fucking arm. I mean, it's a really well done effect, and also when he gets into the
mobile unit, whatever they call it,
right? Yeah. So they put his legs in a certain way and kind of camouflage them, so you don't realize that his legs are in it. And then when he gets out, he pulls a leg out of like the back trunk, puts it in front of it, and he positions these legs, and then they have this quick cut, like he's just mounted them on his body. And like I know that it's camera trickery, but it's so well done that you buy it 100%. I mean,
here's the thing. If you look at the artwork for the box, you will notice that the tank has these two pylons, and behind them, they actually painted in where his legs are. You can see them. They're not legs, but there's two thick black lines, and that's where his legs are because they dressed them up as the pylons.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now I'm going to make a statement that sounds insane. And yet it is absolutely true to agree with what you're saying. In this respect, which is hiding that arm, this movie is better than Predator. Because if you watch Predator, when Carl Weathers gets his arm blown off,
it's better than
the gun.
Yes, it's better than the Carl Weathers sequence,
Because you can see it. His arm is just taped behind, and you can see it. This movie
and because he has a
covered
really
up
big
the arm better.
Yeah.
Yes, but still...
Yeah,
it did it at least 2 times to that effect, maybe 3.
Yeah. Oh no, 3.
Every time
he takes that arm off a few times, and they have that little servo thing that's waggling, and he puts the arm on it, and I mean.
And I was looking, the second and third time, and I still wasn't sure I could see how they did it. Which, like I said, this respect only, this movie is better than Predator. Because they thought that effect out.
Let me be very clear.
I said in this respect only.
In this respect only,
Yes. This movie did this effect better than Predator did. And I'm not exaggerating. And I'm not kidding. And I'm saying that as a sincere admiration that this movie thought this thing out. And like you said, the leg thing too.
Yeah.
Is thought out because... In some respects, what's interesting to me is I forgot that the legs were in the pylons, and I actually didn't notice them until he pulled the leg out, and then I was looking for where they were.
And you're like, where?
But you don't even notice it. This is what I'm saying. You don't even notice it.
No, his design.
That's a well done fucking effect for a Charles Band movie.
His design is fantastic, and I think that's the thing is that. So, okay, I have to get into the sentimentality before we then get into the negativities of this movie. So, when I was a kid, I had my mother's cousins. I don't even know what that is to me. My mother's cousin used to give us movies. She used to go to the to the video store. She'd get a whole bunch of movies, and she'd record them on.
Just so you know, I prefaced that you were going to tell the story. I said, Orlando's got a great story about this, so you'll hear about it on Friday. So I have prepped the audience to know there is a story behind this. Go on.
So my aunt, my grand aunt, whatever you want to call her, my cousin, whatever, she used to rent a lot of movies from video stores, and then she would record them right onto VHS. And she was prolific in the movies, but she also had like a really, really funky taste in movies. And she used to she would create these triple features. So old VHS tapes, you'd be able to kind of break them into, you could slow the quality down. So you could put like 3 times as much on a movie, on a cassette, as you would normally if it was high quality, right? And we were we were fucking adolescents, so it didn't matter. We were little kids. I think I was 12 when I saw this movie. And so one of the first VHS I ever got from her was Commando, which is the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Big Trouble in Little China, which is fucking awesome, and Eliminators. So for a large period of my youth, those 3 movies were this, like, triple feature that I used to watch as a kid. Where, like, if my parents weren't around, or they were busy, or there was nothing going on, I'd throw on the triple movie feature and have it on in the background, and I'd watch Commando, Big Trouble in Little China, and fucking Eliminators. So I have this profound sweet spot for this movie because I watched it as a kid, and I love it because I think I said to you when we were watching, there's so much about this movie that informs my sense of weird sci-fi, because you've got an android with a floating robot thing that lands on his shoulder. You've got a ninja. You've got a scoundrel. You've got a beautiful but tough ex-military scientist doctor. They're fighting a guy who's got an army of goons and is threatening to travel back in time, who turns himself into a kind of machine man himself. Like, it's all this off-the-wall, kooky, golden age science fiction madness on screen. And is it a perfect movie? No, it's not. But do I still have this profound emotion for it? Yes. I would tell anybody who likes sci-fi that they should see Eliminators at least once. Know that it's an imperfect movie, but know that it has a few actual quite amazing special effects sequences. But this movie suffers from a similar problem to Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is that...
Hold on.
Wait, go ahead.
Before you get to the problem,
okay.
I'm going to read to you a description of the film so that we can set up what the problem is. Now, this isn't a poster for the film. It's a French poster, as it turns out. But I wanted to see what the translation was here. And the translation comes out to a cyborg, a flying robot, a ninja, a mad scientist, prehistoric men, and Roman soldiers are all together in an improbable science fiction film. Now, what's the one thing that's left out of that description that's in this movie?
The ninja?
No. What character was not mentioned?
The scoundrel.
Go on with your problem.
Okay, so the problem with this movie, there's a few problems. One is that it drags. They get to this middle portion of the movie. The team isn't quite yet together. It hasn't quite come together. And they haven't quite gotten to the really weird shit yet. And they take a while to get there. And they have kind of like a side adventure on the river with like weird river people. And that part is slow. And then the other problem is that they have this character, the scoundrel. Now, I bet you anything the design of this character was that somebody was like, wow, we need to have a Han Solo type of scoundrel. But the problem is that the character is written in such a way where, like, I don't think it's the actor. I mean, I think the actor desperately wants to be James Woods. But I don't think it's the actor's fault. He did what was on the page. But they went a little too far, and they made the scoundrel really rather unlikable. Right? And then when he turns, you as the audience, and in the same way that when in Hell Comes to Frogtown, the female co-lead decides that she likes Roddy Piper, and you're like, wait, what? When did that happen? Whereas in this, it's like when the scoundrel suddenly goes, you know what? This is a good fight. I'm going to help you. You're like, where did that come from? Because that doesn't make any fucking sense. Right? Yeah. And he is the weakest character in that, like, I mean, what's funny is that you don't get to know the ninja enough to have an issue with him because he shows up late in the movie, but you're still like, well, he's a fucking ninja and he's awesome and he's pissed off because they killed his father. You're like, I'm on board, right? But I guess you spend too much time with the scoundrel being an asshole, you know? And then there's like a weird quasi affection thing that they try to play up between him and the the lady doctor, who by the way is played by what's her name, who does from Star Trek. What's her name?
Tasha Yar, Denise Crosby.
Denise Crosby, right?
Who looks great and is great in the movie.
Yeah, there's no problems with her. But there's like a weird love thing that they start to crop up a little bit, then they back away. But then like she has a weird emotional thing with the robot, with the mandroid, where and like
because he's an actual character, so I get it.
Oh, I know that, but like as a kid, I think a lot of this stuff went kind of over my head. But watching it now, I'm looking at it going, like, okay, wait,
Yes, as a younger man, I was more entranced when she took her shirt off after getting out of the water.
You're like, wait, you want to? Well, she never took her shirt off. She
did. Yes, she did. She had her back to us, but she took her shirt off.
You're right.
Remember?
Yeah, she did. But
yeah,
at no point,
remember.
Yeah. At no point was she naked that we could see.
Yeah, no.
But you know what's funny is that when she does, even the mandroid's like, "Hey, what's going on over there?"
Yeah, the mandroid
like,
hasn't
you don't
lost
have the
all
penis
of his
anymore.
humanity.
You've got the Darth Maul problem. You got like one arm and a head. The rest of you is artificial. You know?
All right, hold on now. Hold on. To go back to Darth Maul, he never detaches anything outside of his legs. I don't know how much of his interior structure remains intact.
Oh, he might have okay, whatever, maybe he does.
He takes that front cover off and his chest is there. It's messed up, but it's there. That may go further down. I don't know. Let us not emasculate the man if we don't know that he's lost all his parts.
Maybe he has some great settings on there. So
he's got a bitchin' hat, I can tell you that.
Oh God, yeah, his incognito outfit is. So essentially, and this whole movie is a simple story. It's an android who realizes that the person who made him is not good. He escapes and nearly kills him. He goes in search of a person that the dying doctor who helped him to escape tells him to go find, and then when he reaches that doctor, the doctor basically says, "Oh my God, this guy's perverting my science. I designed all this. We need to stop him." And then they collect, interesting folk along the way to stop a mad scientist from going back in time and changing everything as we know it. That's the simple, straightforward, that's the speed run of it. It's got weaknesses. It does. But the mandroid looks so good. The guy that got to be the ninja can actually do martial arts. Like, he is impressive. Like, it's not like, where he's didn't you find out he was also in Big Trouble in Little China?
He is. In fact, he's in the elevator scene because I just finished editing that episode that we did.
Yeah.
And I had the elevator scene where they all start to just go on the verge of having sex with each other from the magic potion. And he's the one who puts his hand on Egg Shen's shoulder like, hey. And then the elevator opens and Egg Shen's like, let's get the fuck out of this elevator before something terrible happens. Because I gave you all E and it's kicking in way too quickly.
Yeah, so I still enjoy the hell of this movie. Yes, it drags a little in the middle. Yes, the scoundrels are kind of a bitch. But beyond that, I think the mandroid is great. The guy who played the mandroid did a good job of it. I mean, he is a tortured character. The ninja is fun, and Denise Crosby carries the fucking movie. And she is a tough, no nonsense, intelligent woman who just wants to get the shit done, and I'm on board with her. This was one of those, like, man, this is along with Hell Comes to Frogtown. This is one of those movies I saw when I was a kid, and I was like, this is amazing. I want to make science fiction like this. And then, you see it when you're older and you're like, I wish they had more of a budget. But the thing is, even seeing it older, the mandroid is still amazing. The mandroid makes other special effects look bad because he's so amazing. Yeah. So it's a strange film to watch because it's not good. But there's so much about it that's still great.
I disagree. I think it is good. In fact, this is a movie I would revisit, not as often as others, but this is a movie I'm keeping on a rotation for every 3, 4, 5 years when I want to watch something that's a charming science fiction movie from a long time ago. This will be in the roster of a selection. Like, if I hit a random thing, this will be an option because, again, it has flaws, and I think the biggest one for most people will be that the villain disappears for a large portion of the movie and becomes inconsequential until he suddenly shows up again.
Yeah, you're dealing with kind of his agents for most of it, who aren't that impressive. And I think you said this movie needed like an underling, an impressive underling.
Yes. Here are the issues, just to be straight with everybody. I do not like the mercenary. I think the mercenary was completely
the scoundrel
incorrectly done. They did
when you
not
say mercenary,
make him.
When you say mercenary, do you mean the scoundrel?
Yeah, sorry, scoundrel. Well, he is a mercenary. They hire him for his boat, so he's a mercenary. He is a soldier of fortune.
Yes,
or whatever. He and another large woman are competing to give these people a boat ride, competing lethally for a boat ride.
I mean, that is
its
one
own
of the
hilarity.
Yeah, that is one of the weirder sequences in this movie,
where
she's like, "I'm gonna be your hire at gunpoint," you know.
Strangely, a movie that has a mandroid, a good mandroid, with a good actor doing good work, a ninja played by a competent martial artist as two of your leads, and as your main villains in terms of screen time and prominent placement. We have a overweight Southern man, who might as well have been called Bubba Ray.
Bubba works.
Which I don't care about his weight. I'm just saying this person is not competing with these people.
He's not impressive. Yeah.
A very butch woman who does way more effort in
a very butch overweight woman as well, like a big tough overweight.
Well, compared to the guy, I found her to be fine. The guy is much bigger than she is. And she's strangely fixated on killing the mercenary to give these people a boat ride. There's a, and
when
she's
you
in
say
the movie
like
way
that,
more than she should be. Yeah.
It sounds fucking weird, yeah.
And Neanderthals. That's your main enemies.
Yeah.
In a movie where you have a ninja and a mandroid, none of those three villain types are anywhere on the level of what these characters should be fighting.
And I want to add, by the way, this is all in an hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah. So the guy who gets into the Iron Man Roman suit, Roman edition, Mark Roman, that guy doesn't show back up till the last 10 minutes in that suit.
Yeah.
And is then a actual enemy that they are having problems with.
Yeah, he kicks the shit out of them, yeah.
Yeah, but Bubba with the shotgun is not a threat. What, are you kidding me? The only person he can threaten is the mercenary, because the mercenary is fucking wet toast.
Yeah.
He's nothing. And so the primary flaw is I'm just sitting here going, guys, you could have so easily just had a bunch of ninjas. It's not difficult costuming. Black felt. Yeah, and a couple of plastic swords.
Or some other lightly roboted guy. You could have had a guy with a robot arm.
I'm thinking, since this is Charles Band, who made a lot of low-budget movies, they probably used most of the budget on that tread machine and the Mandroid. So they probably didn't have a lot of budget left.
They totally blew it on the Mandroid.
They did. No, they didn't blow it. They were smart. It looks amazing, and it is the reason to watch.
All the money was on the Mandroid.
So, since you probably can't do more androids because of expense, because you have to save the rest to dress up the guy for the last 10 minutes, which I would argue, but fine. Then just do a bunch of ninjas that attack them that are fast that the mandroid can't keep up, and then the ninja comes out and helps them, and there's your middle of the movie.
I'm going to counter you. I think that they could have had an underling with a metal arm, because they could have used the same metal arm that they used for the villain at the end, just given it to him, and had him just had this one robotic arm, just give it to the other guy. Yeah.
I won't disagree. I would have replaced Bubba with a lesser Mandroid or a sleeker model that, you know. Yeah. Because here's the thing you could have done. Mandroid was version 1. In all this time, the guy perfected a Terminator type where he looks human, meaning you don't have to use anything until he gets cut.
Oh, yeah, but he kicks ass. Yeah.
Yeah. And then bunch of ninjas to bring the ninja in, because the ninja doesn't make any goddamn sense. Yes, his father was killed, but where the hell has he been the whole movie?
It's a bit out of the blue, but you're kind of like, hey, I like ninjas.
Not only is it out of the blue, it happens again very late in the movie where we've spent too much time with what I would call Murdoch Light. Yeah. No questions guy. Who's just, I'm sorry, he's nothing. I can't even remember anything about him except what he looked like with his blown out hair.
Yes,
whereas the ninja at least was an Inigo Montoya type. And I'm like, okay, got it. Revenge. I got it. That makes sense. You know? So that's the biggest problem. Now, I still thought it was great because, again, and I'm going back to Charles Band a lot because if you know Charles Band, he's made some absolute shit. Stuff that's way worse than Hell Comes to Frogtown. Just garbage. But occasionally, he would make, like Dr. Mordred, which I reviewed, was another Charles Band one, which I really liked because it was Doctor Strange, but we could use Doctor Strange. And it's good. This is one of those types where you sit there and go, wow, you know what? This is that stopped clock is right twice a day thing. You can make a bunch of low-budget garbage, but occasionally, somehow, you create one of the better androids of this era in a movie that is nowhere near as well financed as something like, say, The Terminator.
Or Predator.
You know, or Predator.
For the arm
this
sequence.
Mandroid works really well, and the actor's very good. That's this movie is absolutely worth seeing, especially if you haven't seen it in a long time. Just understand that, the no questions is going to be no bueno, and you're just going to have to deal with them. But everything around it makes it worth it. And the only other problem I really have is the villains that they throw at them are hilariously inept and underqualified. So it is not without flaws. But unlike Hell Comes to Frogtown, which I have no desire to ever watch again, I'm done with it. I've seen it twice. That was enough. I would go back to this, and I would have a blast. And yeah, I'd be annoyed at the blown out hair guy, but the Mandroid is in it. And here's another thing too: a lot of movies, when you have somebody like the Mandroid, they're not in it that much. He's in most of the movie.
Oh, he's
so
the lead.
It's not. Yeah. So that also, with the little robot on his shoulder, helps offset.
Oh my
blown
god!
out
When he's
hair
walking
man.
around with that little fucking thing on his shoulder, which is like Bibu from Clash of the Titans.
From Clash of the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that look.
That's great. So I would call this movie good. It's flawed, but it's good. So I would actually recommend this to people if they haven't seen it in a long time or they've never seen it, and you want to see that low budget can be very good and you can have a really good robot man in tank treads that work where you can't tell.
I don't remember that thing so fast, too, when he's in it.
Yeah.
And he's just like shooting all over the place. I mean,
yes.
I think you read that thing almost killed him, too.
It did. He had almost rolled. You can see the scene where you could see where it starts to get tipsy. Because, the guy inside it couldn't see shit. So, and they weren't doing like directions to him. There wasn't anything going on. He was just driving it. But that tank thing looks great. It doesn't look like a shitty thrown together it looks like something. In the comics in the 90s, the X-Men would often run into these cyborgs called the Reavers.
The Reavers.
Yes, and one of them was this guy, and I guarantee you that the design of that one Reaver was based entirely on this movie because it was done so well, and they did it. And so if Charles Band had made an X-Men movie in the 90s, I fucking promise you he would have done the Reavers as the villains, and this thing would have gotten reused. I'm telling you right now, it would have happened. So I would say that the Eliminators is good. So I am recommending it.
I think it's a fun B movie. I like it. I still am emotionally, like I said, very invested in this movie from my youth. And I do think that Mandroid is amazing. But yeah, it has flaws. And as long as you know it has flaws, go in and experience a movie that is just fucking off the wall weird. I mean,
the thing I wonder about is, had we not watched the movie we're going to talk about next, would we have been more forgiving on this movie's villain problems? Because what we watched actually right before Eliminators was a movie that is fucking awesome from 1984. Hold on. It is from 1983. I'm sorry, 3. Titled Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. A movie that I remember seeing all the time when I was a kid. I remembered really liking it.
A lot of people have oddly forgotten this movie.
Weirdly.
I was talking to some people around, and like none of them had seen it, none of them had heard of it, and like this is a movie that has amazingly just disappeared. And yet, I mean, it's produced by Ivan Reitman. Harold Ramis does have an what do you call it?
Yeah. He does a voice in the movie.
He does a voice in the beginning of the movie.
Which I recognized immediately.
It's got a 15-year-old Molly Ringwald right before 16 Candles. Yep. And it has Ernie Hudson at his absolute best. This is the best you are ever going to see Ernie Hudson. He looks phenomenal in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, he just looks so good. And it's got a interesting, varied, weird fucking world. And it's got Michael Ironside as an insane, like, final boss mutant creature on a gimbal.
Yep.
You know, who just, I mean, they just turned Michael Ironside up to like 11 on this one. They were like, this
is a good movie to contrast with Eliminators in that this movie has a bunch of different minor threats that are all weird and different and interesting.
And dangerous as well.
And dangerous, yes. But that's the thing, is where Eliminators could not throw anything at the leads that ever felt like a real threat.
Yeah.
Or that wasn't a joke, frankly.
Yeah.
This movie has little people that are both mutated in what look like horrible ways.
Yeah, they're
that
so
are
creepy.
Throwing Molotov explosives actively.
Yeah,
that are a direct threat.
And you have to run. Like, there's no
and you have to run. There's no choice. Yep. No, they show up. They're disturbing.
The weird pig people that come down from the ceiling.
The weird pig people. The women that
the Amazons,
aquatic
the water
Amazons.
Amazons. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, the water Amazons or whatever. Who I wish we'd see more of because they looked great.
They did.
But
yes, they did.
They did. They looked great. Let's not fuck around. They looked great. And again, they were threatening.
Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone, they always very nearly get their ass kicked. Very nearly.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And there's lots of really great set design. So we keep going to different areas on this planet that look very different.
His ship was done in practical, which looks fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of good practical.
A lot of models.
Vehicles built, a train with sails.
A truck
not a model train. A real train.
A truck that gets used through most of the movie.
Yep.
And then a fucking like bulldozer tractor. I mean, that fucking thing that Ernie Hudson drives.
Yes. A living pet death car in a death maze. That thing seems to be alive. I don't know. You never see a driver.
But it's definitely it's
something. Yeah. Michael Ironside looks awesome, even though he's clearly attached to a crane and has very little mobility. Also very similar to the Mandroid. Unclear what he was ever going to be able to do with these beautiful women other than suck away their life force. But they try to play him as sexual where he's like, take off their clothes.
Oh, I want to see it. Yeah.
Why? I don't think you can do anything. But sure.
Yeah. Show it to me. Show it to me. So weird.
But lots of in-camera effects because the only compositing I really saw was in the very opening with the pleasure ship appeared to be composited against a planet of some kind.
No, a lot of models. Later, a lot of models.
Yeah. The android woman, sadly not in it very much, but she's great. She's an android.
Oh yeah, and I was so I liked her enough that when she died, so like she dies right in the beginning of the movie. I was sad because I was like,
right in the beginning.
I like you. You were a fun character, and we never were really sure whether she was like his Data as well as his fuckbot. It was a really weird thing.
Right. Yeah, seen that.
And
one.
Ernie Hudson. I like how Ernie Hudson's like, I can't wait to make all the money off this deal. I'm going to go buy myself a good android, a sexy one. Like, it's just a normalized part of this existence. You know? Yeah, and I dug this movie. This is the best movie that we watched, hands down.
With not even close. Like I said, if this movie wasn't part of the rotation, if we watched another Hell Comes to Frogtown, I think Eliminators might have been better reviewed for me. I still like it, But Space Hunter blew the other two so far out of the water.
Yeah, and the thing is, Space Hunter feels like a movie, a sci-fi movie that's on the verge of being, like Star Wars quality. Like it's getting there. You know what I mean? They released it right before Return of the Jedi because they knew that there was going to be a lot of like fervor for sci-fi movies, right? So it made the money, but then it got buried because Return of the Jedi came out, and that was it. Everyone went to go see Return of the Jedi. But I
would have been very curious what a sequel or two to this would have been.
Well, it would never have happened because Molly Ringwald became so astronomically famous after this that she...
Well, that's because this movie didn't do that well, but if it had, she might have done more of these and been in this.
I think that 16 Candles came after this, and 16 Candles was the beginning of like the John Hughes, like just, run. And
but if she'd been contracted to do another Space Hunter...
She did Pretty in Pink, she did Breakfast Club. I mean, she became his muse for a lot of these movies. So, yeah. But could they have done another movie in this universe? I think another movie in this universe would have worked, but it would have been loosely connected unless they went back to this planet for some other reason.
No, I think it would have been the same lead guy. Maybe Ernie Hudson ends up joining him instead of Molly Ringwald because now she's doing the Hughes movies. And he says, well, I figured out she was just not made for this life. I felt she should have an actual childhood. So I left her on Braxis 7 and, with some good people who are going to take care of her. And, you're more of the hard life type of guy anyway, Ernie Hudson. So let's go. Of course,
let's go and bring along our new fuckbot. Yeah.
Well, I would have just brought the same woman back and said, well, we got Model 2 of you, so you're back. Okay, fine, let's go. But there was enough imagination in this one that I would like to see what they would have done if they'd gone on to make another one. Because I don't remember the guy's name, but the lead guy in this, whatever his name was, he was perfectly good. Peter Strauss is the actor. He was good in the role. I liked him. He was...
Yeah, and there's
he was kind of the...
Go on.
I was going to say, he's the opposite of blown-out hair guy from Eliminators, where he's scoundrel type. He's there.
Yeah, but he's got
morality, and he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the design of this movie, design of this movie is quite good. So, I mean, he's got this great Farscape-like vest he's wearing from the movie, which I'm sure inspired.
Oh, he's totally modeled off of Han Solo. Totally.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got his car, which looks really cool. It's got all these hatches and stuff on it, and a gun, but it's still a big truck rolling around doing shit. I mean, just the design work on this. It's like a greatest hits of weird sci-fi elements, but it's still so good. And like I said, and I saw this movie in my adolescent years. I loved it. But you know what? But I'll tell you, there was a really fucked up moment where I couldn't remember if there was supposed to be a love interest thing between the main guy and Molly Ringwald. Because, when I saw this movie, I was young, and Molly Ringwald looked older than me. So I thought that Molly Ringwald was old enough to have a relationship with this guy, because I was a kid.
And I pretty much remembered it wasn't. I think maybe she had a bit of a thing for him, but it wasn't the other way around.
But when we started watching, I was like, oh no. I was like, does Molly Ringwald get with this guy? And then I had to look it up because I was so nervous.
Yeah, she was 15.
I was like, oh no, I hope not, because she's 15 years old. I was like, let's not have that. And then it didn't. It's a very, I'm looking for someone to be my parent, my guardian, and that was fine. That was good. And she's good. She's great as an annoying fucking teenager. And the fact that when he first... So, the plot of this movie is very simple. A Han Solo scoundrel type, the hitman with a heart of gold. There's a distress signal from a company about some women who went down from a ship. They want them to be recovered. He goes down there to get them. When he's down there, he meets Molly Ringwald, who is... I don't think she's local, or if she's local, she's... I don't think she was born there. But either way, she joins up with him to help him out, but she's like this very whiny a teenager, and like she smells bad because she's been living off the I don't even call it the fucked up environment that they have there. So like one of the first things the first fight they have is that he throws her in a river or in a pond to wash her, which is like, honestly, that to me, that movie had me there, where I was like, oh, he threw her in the water and he forced her to shower. I was like, somebody has kids. But beyond that, the movie is them having lots of little misadventures, trying to figure out where the girls are and then get them out. And then the hilarity that ensues when our main character goes up against Michael Ironside and his mutant gimbal, what do they call? What was the crazy town called in? Was it Gastown? Bartertown. Yeah, it's like Bordertown, whatever. Yeah, Bartertown. It's his weird Mad Max Bartertown situation, and that's your movie. And they save the women, and they get the women on the plane, and then on his shuttle, and Ernie Hudson lives, which a lot of these movies would have killed the black guy, which I was like, no, Ernie Hudson's awesome. And then Molly Ringwald's like, oh man, that's that line where she's like, I want you to want me to come with you, and he's like, I want you, and that's when you were like,
I do want you to come.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they'd left it like that, we were both like, ooh, don't phrase it like that. He's like, and then he stops and he goes, I do want you to come with me. And it's like, okay, good.
Yeah. And the thing, there's actually a lovely sort of like a parent-child relationship that forms. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this. Movie is so much better than I remember it being. Like, these other two movies, I'm like, well, they're B movies, but, they're still good. They're still part of my youth. Whereas this movie, if I saw this movie tomorrow, I'd be like, no, you know what? That was really good. I hope they make another. I still feel that way.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I hope they make another.
I completely agree. I thought this movie was a blast. It really was. I didn't, because I know I reviewed it when I watched it 17 years ago. And I don't know what I thought of it then. I'm sure I didn't dislike it. But I think now, because that's a significant amount of time. I mean, 17 years is not nothing. It was 2009 when I last reviewed it and watched it. And we are so buried in unnecessary use of CG for everything.
Oh, yeah.
That to watch the effects that this...
It doesn't have it at all.
It does everything practically. I mean, virtually everything practically. And it looks really good. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can tell they're models.
No, fuck you. That car is so well done. That car is great.
Well, that's what. And if you remember when we were watching, I'm like, man, they built those cars and they work. They're great. Yeah. Especially the plow car. That one's the one that's really impressive because there's this big bar that goes up. I think it was some kind of farm equipment that they jazzed up because there's a big set of back wheels that these bars are connected to.
It's all something that got jazzed up. Yeah.
Yeah, or a monster truck they saw.
Listen, the train is awesome. A whole weird set piece where he's like fighting people and driving across bridges and
right. But there's so much in this that's physical, and even for things that are very minor, like when they run into the aqua Amazons, they've got all these pipes that are forming trees that are going into the water. It's all industrial. And it just looks great because it looks so different from everything else. And it's maybe a 5-minute long scene, and then they're out. You never go back, but it's there. Overdog's place looks really good.
Oh, and his name is Overdog. I mean, for fuck's sake, the villain's name is Overdog.
Overdog. Yeah, Overdog.
You're the man now, Overdog.
You're the man now, Overdog. That looks great. There's this tunnel where there's neon going down it that's really cool looking. The quarry of the mutated children throwing bombs is great.
Never explained. Just weird shit. It's there. Keep going.
No, you just understand this planet's fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this is a bad planet to be stuck on, right? So that's all you need to know. But it's great because again, in a lot of these movies that are lower budget films that are not at the level of Star Wars, Terminator, Predator, that type of stuff, where you have everything firing on all cylinders. It's kind of the Doctor Who problem, where a lot of these movies are shot in either a quarry, and that's the whole movie is in a rock quarry, just different parts of the rock quarry, or it's all in the forest, and they're just walking around the woods, and that's it. And there's no variation. This movie has different biomes that they're going across. There's different areas that are clearly run by different groups of people.
Yep.
And you really don't know much about them, but you understand immediately, like all the women are in a water area. They're water women. All the mutated children are in rags in a dry, arid, rocky place. Overdog's in this industrial hellscape where everything is barbed wire and flames and darkness and neon lights and electricity. It's all very clearly laid out. The pod people are in this silo type of thing where almost like spiders would be. They're human spiders.
Yeah, that connects underground, yeah.
Yes, it's great. It all makes sense. There's a logic to it. They all feel different. And again, we've just laid out 4 different types of serious threats to our leads, only one of which is really kind of explained, which is Overdog is explained that he came to the planet a long time ago. They cover it very briefly in the beginning, that he came there and they lost contact. It's like a Heart of Darkness type of thing, a Apocalypse Now type thing, where he came and something happened. He's experimenting, whatever. He's sucking life force from all these women, whatever he's doing to them. And now he looks completely different. He looks like Darryl Revick went swimming in a FEV vat. And he doesn't have hands anymore. He's got giant claws. He's on a crane. He looks like Skeletor. He's got metal teeth and shit. He's barking all the time. It's great. So
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Yeah.
This is Bezos later in life.
Oh sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that. But basically, this all shapes up to be. This is why I wanted to review this one last, because I really have nothing bad to say about it at all. Nothing.
Oh, no, there's just so much cool about it. That's it.
Yeah, unlike the other two where there's flaws in it, I don't have a flaw for this movie. I really don't. I have no flaws to mention.
Are there flaws to this movie? Are there flaws?
You know what? There's one. I have one. The old man makeup on the guy on the train isn't that great.
No, he does look weird.
But we've seen worse on Savage Beach.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
So I can't even.
You know what? Honestly,
asterisk my caveat.
The smart thing about this movie is that it's a road film. So like nothing ever overstays its welcome. It's like, we're here now. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay, we're here now. Okay, this shit's fucked up. Now we're gonna keep going.
That's why the mutant children work so well. You don't really ever see them.
Yeah.
There's none that you get close to.
You know what? If you told me that this was Earth and that they were in the remnants of the United States, it would make total sense.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they're in Monument Valley at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. But, no, I think
because I think they technically do name the planet, but it doesn't matter. It's an Earth-type planet. It's an M-class planet.
It's a great movie. I give credit to Ivan Reitman. He did this before Ghostbusters. I don't even know who the director. You know what? I was so taken with Ivan Reitman that I didn't even check to see who the director was and what else they had done.
The director was directed by Lamont Johnston.
Did they do anything else good?
Not Lamont Cranston. That's the Shadow. Lamont Johnson did. Well, I don't know much else of what he did.
You know what? I think they wanted to do more too, because it's called Space Hunter, but it has a subtitle which is Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
I think you're right. Yeah, he did a lot of TV. Not much it looks like in terms of film. So yeah, a lot of TV. I mean, before this, yeah, he did some movies, a few here and there, but none other that I have any name recognition compared to this one. No.
Yeah, if nothing else, you got to see this movie because, I mean, Ernie Hudson really looked amazing. That fucking outfit they got him in, like, they should have made a movie about that guy. I had to watch that. Honestly, you know what? The sequel should have been about Ernie Hudson, and then he brings the Space Hunter in like halfway through to help him. That's really what it should have been.
I would have watched that, sure.
I would have watched that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, because wasn't Ernie Hudson still a space cop? And the
he still worked for the company.
Yeah. Why not?
That's why he had the funky uniform, yeah.
No, I would absolutely watch the sequel. I would watch the sequel now if they made it. I'd be interested. I would.
Oh, man, Colin Mockery was in this, uncredited. He was one of the guards.
Oh, was he? That's hysterical. Yeah. I don't even... Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my God, that's funny. Michael Ironside is insane. Yep. That's a fun movie. I love it.
Yeah.
So, of the three of these...
Easily,
I have the least nostalgia for it because I saw this later. But of the three, I think it's the best movie.
And okay, so this is funny. I have the most nostalgia because I remembered Michael Ironside more than the rest of the movie for a long time. I vividly remembered him with the claw hands. Him being with that white skull face.
Yeah.
And the claw hands. If nothing else, I would have been able to draw him almost exactly as he appeared without having seen this movie for a very long time. I was like, oh, yeah, no. I remember what he looks like. He looks like a melted Skeletor with claw hands. And that's what he looks like on a crane. And I'm thrilled that it holds up as well as it does. To the point where I really have anybody who's a science fiction fan. Like, I'm not going to say it's for everybody. My wife would not probably enjoy it. But for anybody who likes science fiction, this is worth seeing if you've never seen it. It is fun. The word adventure is in the title, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a science fiction adventure movie.
Hey, its tone is consistent all the way through.
Yep. It's got a consistent tone. It has good villains. It has good leads. The main villain and the sub-villains are all equally memorable and interesting. It builds a world that it doesn't over-explain, but has a lot of variety. The effects are almost uniformly fantastic. And many of them are, the majority of them are practical in-camera effects, not even composited stuff.
Oh, man.
Which I make a point about because
when they picked
compositing
the
in
dummies
1983 looked like shit.
No, when they pick people up in the hang gliders, they pick up the dummies when they're dummies.
Yeah.
So they have these hang glider guys come down with these hooks and pick these bodies up and then take back off.
Yep.
That was done. I mean, that was hang gliders picking up dummies in real life.
Yeah.
They have, and then when you look at the credits, there's a whole hang glider crew. I mean, yeah, they did some fun shit for this movie.
This is what I'm saying is a lot of effects, a lot of optical effects from the early 80s do not look good. Even, I mean, until they went back and remastered the Star Wars films. In Empire Strikes Back, to be very specific about it, you will find videos that will show you exactly what this was, because if you haven't seen the original, like 35 millimeters, you won't be aware of this because they've cleaned it up now. When you're in the cockpit of the speeders on Hoth, you can see through the speeder cockpits because of the compositing. So when you're in the point of view where you're seeing the snow going by and you see the cockpit bars, you can see through them. When the TIE fighters were flying in space, you could see the boxes around them, and then they digitally cleaned it up, but it was there.
Did you ever see in The Mandalorian how there was a sequence where there was a guy in the background, one of the people who worked on
and they erased him.
They erased him, but but early on it went out. And
Game of Thrones did that with the coffee cup or whatever it was.
Cup. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and now it's something that almost never see it, or it gets fixed very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
But this at this time period, this is the benefit of doing most of it in camera. Yes, you will probably notice that it's got a string, or that it's a model, but it's still going to look better than bad compositing. Unless you have a team that's going to go in there and digitally fix it, which most of these movies do not have a Star Wars budget to do that.
No, but to be
they're
fair,
always going to look like shit.
The first Star Wars movie didn't have a Star Wars budget per se either. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying they've been cleaned up now where you don't see any of that anymore. That's what I'm saying is, if you watch Star Wars now, unless you find, like I did, the 4K scan of the original 35 millimeter, which has all the imperfections, which is why
honestly, we should watch that shit and see if it's still good.
I have to mail those to you because they're very large, because they're scans of the 35 millimeter negative in 4K, uncompressed. So they're like 60 gig. They're huge. I will send it to you. I agree.
Can you compress one? I don't need this ultra 4K. I can take it compressed.
I mean, I can.
Listen. You watch the 4K. It matters to you. I can watch the more compressed version, and then we could just have fun and watch it.
Oh, then I could probably get you the links to it. And you can just download it straight there. I think there are compressed versions available.
But I would say of these three movies, if you like sci-fi, watch all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these movies you're going to want to watch again, and some of these movies you'll watch once, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't disagree.
If you like sci-fi.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously that. Yeah, if you're into rom-coms, don't watch these. But I'll say, if you do not have the time to watch all three, and you can only watch one, we're going to agree on the one you should watch.
Yeah, you go. Listen, if you only have a little bit of time, you watch Space Hunter. If you got a little more time, you watch Eliminators.
Yeah.
And if you're lonely one night, you got nothing to do, and you're looking for something that'll just be kind of a weird, like, chuckle, watch Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah.
And make sure you're a few drinks in when you watch that movie too. It'll make it better.
Yeah, that will help. But yeah, if you're only going to watch one, the one that I would say I have no reservations in recommending, that I really have nothing to complain about, nothing, it's Space Hunter. Space Hunter is fucking rad, and it holds up exceptionally well. So that would
it holds up well enough that it's better than certain modern movies.
That's what I'm saying. It's a no reservation.
Like, to watch an older movie and go, shit, this is better than stuff I'm watching now.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
I don't know if I'd trust anyone to remake this movie and not fuck it up.
Yeah, I honestly would not even. I wouldn't want it to be remade. I'm glad it's forgotten because you know what? That means nobody's interested.
Good.
Nobody can destroy it. So that's good. But just leave it as is, and you really don't even have to digitally clean it up because they did most of it in camera. So there's nothing to clean up. It's fine. Doesn't need anything. It's good. So yes, this was a no failure week. And I really, really love that we had one that I just, like I said, I have nothing to say bad about it. That is the best possible result is none that I hated and one that I would recommend to anybody who likes science fiction. So like that's what I agree. Watch all three if you have the time and the ability. And I think they're all on YouTube and Tubi. They're all easy to find. These are not movies you're going to have to search very hard for. They're everywhere. But if you can only watch one, then I would say watch Space Hunter if you don't want to have anything to be annoyed by. Because not everybody has the tolerance. And I understand that. Not everybody's got the tolerance for the flaws. That's fine. In that case, Space Hunter's your winner. Something very offbeat, weird, and highly janky. That's Hell Comes to Frogtown. And the one where you're just going to go, holy shit, really? They made an android that looks this good for a movie that probably I forgot all about? That's Lumineers. So really, there are no bad options, but there is one really good one. So there you have it. Next week's I don't even know if I have next week's roster set yet, so we'll see. Because I think we're doing a couple of... No, actually, next week might be all the movies you picked. So we'll see. Yeah, because
I had a weird. Because I really want to watch. Was it? Oh God, was it Dream? No, was it the one with Dennis Quaid?
Oh, you mean Dreamscape?
Yeah, Dreamscape and then Brainstorm. Yeah. I want to watch. I think those two movies we should be watching the same week.
Yeah, that's not next week. Next week is there's one that most people will have seen. There's one that I vaguely remember, and there's one I've never seen. And it's the two.
Well, it should be fun then.
I won't give them away. Yeah, it should be fun. And we'll see what the... you know what? Now that I think about it, I might want to rearrange the order, though. No, screw it. I'll leave it as is. Who knows? We might have another murder by phone on our hands. Well, you never know. You just never know. On that note, everybody, have a great week. And whatever you do with your weekend, watch Space Hunter. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes or to browse through our back catalog. Email questions or comments to OzoneNightmare@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show, visit SupportOurShow.com and select whatever option works best for you. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.